Tears of freedom.
That was loud. All right, that's all you're getting of an intro. Are you guys still there?
Yeah. I'm here.
What's up, everybody? This is episode number 90 with fellow Jersey guy Chris Tedesco. We are brought to you, as always, by motionpro.com. If you need levers or sweet tools for your bike, go to motionpro.com. Canvas MX. All the guys at Straight Rhythm that had the super sick setups, like AJ Cantanzaro and who's the other one? Michael Lieb, of course. He's one of the owners of Canvas. Those are all Canvas sets. You can get 10% off. Go there and use FMX East 10 because that's old school, right, Chris? You know about that.
FMX East. Wow.
That's
that first website.
That's the discount code. And also Stroker Industries. You can get the trigger so you don't got to spill gas on your graphics. StrokerIndustries.com. What's up, Chris?
Not much. Enjoying a lovely Thursday here in Southern California. How about yourselves?
Oh, is it beautiful there?
Yeah, it's actually really awesome right now. It's like
Still daylight.
Yeah, still daylight. Working the natural light right now, and yeah, it's beautiful out.
It's the golden hour, right? Or it's coming up.
A true photographer, he says, oh, man, I'm working off this natural light.
Exactly. I'm in the studio. I got the door open. The best light shows with the sun. Remember that, everyone.
What have you shot there in that studio?
A lot of stuff.
Anything
tons of
that
bikes,
dirt bike
X-Games
people...
bikes.
Yeah, exactly. What bikes would dirt bike people know?
Most recently was Behrman's X Games Best Whip gold medal bike.
Nice.
That thing was really fun. I'm sure you guys have seen it on Tyler's page and Rob of RNC Motorsports page. Just like the details that went into that. Just incredible with like frame design, with like bare material, with like the blacked out graphics, with the little chrome hit fast house on there, done by Era. It was just really sweet. Pleasure to shoot that thing. Beautiful. And then who else? Hanson's bike's been in here. Taka's bikes. Twitch's bike. A lot of big players have come through here. Even shot some very expensive, fancy automobiles for BMW, the i8, and Rolls Royce. Their Dawn convertible in here. So shot like over $1 million worth of cars in here too. So that's pretty to say out loud.
How big is your garage?
It's like 30 by 30 with like 15-foot ceiling. And I have a seamless wall that's like 10 feet high, 14 feet long with a 90 in it and another 14 feet. So it gets the job done, to say the least. It's really awesome to have this here. It's kind of like how like a rider would have a track or a freestyle park in their yard. I have the photo studio. So it's kind of the equivalent. Pretty proud of that.
Yeah, exactly. It's tools for your trade. That's sick. Did you get the house because of the garage?
It was definitely a selling point. I wanted a garage because, all these years I've been, couching it or like renting a room with all the driver buddies of mine. Never, ever had a garage because, when you live with a house of dirt bike drivers,
Yeah, filled with
photographer
bikes.
doesn't get any space in the garage. All your stuff, nothing. It's all dirt bikes. So if you want to fit in, you better have a dirt bike like that right there. But for me, definitely, I wanted a garage. And I wanted a space to have a photo studio because I've always either had like a room in the house set up, but it just kind of feels a little cheesy sometimes. So to have like a legit dedicated setup was definitely a goal of mine. So make that happen was really cool. So it was definitely a huge selling point. Bought a garage and got a house in view with it.
No, definitely having it's not cheesy at all having your own get up there, so that you can do your thing makes perfect sense. Jesus. I'm gonna have to
So you gotta make means or do with what you have there, but it's definitely nice to climb the ranks and get to this point for sure. Definitely, didn't start out with all this stuff. Had nothing and it's really cool.
At least you can explain what you're doing when you're taking pictures. I'm in the garage setting things up, and then my wife walks in. I look like a fucking dork taking a picture of my boots or something.
Hey, what's this guy doing over here? Yeah, definitely the technical lingo, but usually once I start breaking that out, people are like, what? If you don't on the iPhone, can't you just like pull the frame or something?
Live focus.
Yeah,
Clint, what are you working out the kinks there?
Somebody, the comedy message groups get rolling, and then it would have been just very loud dinging for the next hour, just nonstop. So
our live feed looks frozen.
Now, Clint, I see you're performing in bars in my hometown, Morristown, New Jersey.
Yeah, I'm actually back there. Is the live stream frozen? You said, Nick?
Yeah, on the tube.
Just me or everybody is?
It's just your head frozen at the bottom, and everything just popped up, and me and Chris are giggling.
I'm alive. I'm here. I'm trying. So to make everyone happy.
I just realized
we're just a little delayed on the YouTube stream, but it looks like it's moving now.
That's about when I see you. I just realized. So what I realized I was doing wrong with audio. Now I'm recording it on GarageBand separately. So we should have better audio, and you guys are about the same volume. That's our big problem, Chris, is audio, I feel like.
Gotcha. I mean, if you can't hear what we're saying, it might be a little problematic.
It does become problematic. So, yeah, you grew up 20 minutes from me. And
that's right. Morristown, you were in Ledgewood area, was it?
Yep, I'm in Ledgewood.
Yep.
And actually, my dad worked at a shop that was right behind his high school. From the shop, you could look and see the football field. And
that's right. It was a Harley custom motorcycle place there by
yeah, Pizza. Exactly. And Chris was probably one of 6 white kids in his entire school. Right? That's probably a fair. That's a fair. He never comments on this, but it's
we had Diversity Day growing up, so I'll leave it at that.
They had Diversity Day. They celebrated you
on
that day. They celebrated Chris.
Yeah, the one white kid in Morristown who liked motocross. It was a pretty big deal for me.
Yeah.
They're like, what? You don't want to be a financial advisor or a doctor or a lawyer or play football or baseball? No, there's enough people doing that. It's kind of boring.
Hey, Nick, that was you. You guys froze up. Maybe you're froze up, Nick. Yeah, he disappeared.
Yeah, he's gone. I'm just looking at you now, Clint.
Yeah. He's got Midwestern internet. He's trying to make we froze up.
They have internet there? I didn't even realize that. That's impressive.
No, well, it's he still dials up. He's probably redialing right now.
He got AOL.
Yeah, he's redialing right now. So out of all the pictures that you've taken, there we go. Nickel
Yeah, I hear you just got internet wherever you're at last week. That's pretty cool.
Get the fuck out of here.
So all the pictures that you've taken in your career, which one are you most proud of, or do you think about the most?
I think the one that everyone pretty much knows the most is the James Stewart Bubba Scrub photo from Budds Creek 03, when he wadded himself out of the Vegas Supercross and then missed the first few rounds and came back for Budds and just waxed everyone. And that's when he kind of, obviously he's kind of been doing the scrub before that, but that was the first time he really broke it out in the race. So to be there to capture that was really, really awesome.
Are you sure it's not this photo?
Oh, no.
I was just going to say, I wish we could.
That was one of my first ones. Actually, I'm pretty pumped on that one, too. I think I was 16 when I took that. Back before, cameras and all that stuff were cool. You had to, know stuff and want to do it.
He actually printed that picture in his high school photo class.
Yeah, Morristown High School graphic arts department. No one else was using that plotter. I'm like, wait a minute, camera, pictures of all kinds of cool dirt bikes. Actually print this stuff for free? Heck yeah, I'm doing that.
Yeah, and didn't you printed a Mad Mike picture as well, right?
Oh yeah, Mad Mike and Metzger. Because my mom put me on a plane to the X Games when I was 16. So I went out there by myself. I don't know what she was thinking. Thanks, Mom. That was awesome. But I got myself and got a hotel room, and like I didn't even have like a press pass. I kind of just like talked my way in because I was technically too young to sign the waiver to get in. So yeah, I had all these photos. I just kind of stuck my way in the X Games. So I went back to school. I'm like, I'm going to print all these things now. Why not? Might as well enjoy school. You actually can enjoy that stuff if you figure out what you want to do there. It's pretty bad.
That is one that's awesome that she let you go. And that's pretty cool that, you know, you did all that and now you're like one of the guys. You were doing that in high school and found your own way, you know. I remember Moto X Central.
Yes, you are correct there. That was kind of how I got my start in the whole world of moto. Was just making a website back when you actually had to code stuff yourself and take all the pictures and do race reports and go to the rounds. Or I had like Steve Broom, the Factory Spectator, a huge mentor in my life growing up, and he would supply me with photos to go on with my stories. And yeah, just kind of did snowball from doing the whole web design race report thing. Just kind of took off in photography full time. Pretty awesome.
Yeah, you gotta take the bull by the horns sometimes and make it happen.
Definitely, there wasn't really anyone, at least in my age group, doing it back then. There wasn't anyone. It was all like the OG guys like Cudby and Hoppin, Guy B, Steve Cox, Steve Broom. Forgetting a few others, Cardi, and they were all doing it, but there was no young people like myself doing it at the time. So to jump in, it was pretty cool. You know, I was out there with like the big time journalists and photographers I looked up to as a teenager. You know? So I guess it was kind of like, I wouldn't say a factory ride because I wasn't really working too much for that many people at the time, just freelancing. So I guess I was kind of like a privateer as a youth, going to the races and freestyle events on my own time and dime with the support of my family. It's really cool to kind of like carve that niche to see now like where it's at. But
yeah,
everyone's a content creator. You know, your little baby with the iPhone to your 90-year-old grandma's like a content creator technically nowadays. Back then it was a little more difficult to do it. I'm glad I came up with that then. It's not to knock today, it's still super hard, but definitely probably where it came from.
Yeah, I remember you being super young. Are you the same age as Derek? Or are you younger than him?
He's September, I'm October, and same year.
I remember both you guys being super young when we were doing like IFMAs and stuff.
IFMAs.
Yeah, you guys were both like, I want to say 17 probably.
Yeah, right around there, 16, 17.
And when in 2003, I was 23. So what were you like 19 or something when you shot that Bubba picture?
That summer, I guess I was on October birthday, so I was that time I was 19, but turned 20 later.
Nice. That's awesome to think. You know, don't you like? I even think about it, making the team and all that stuff at 21. I'm like, what the hell did I know? I didn't know anything.
We knew everything apparently back then.
Figured something out, but it was just as I went, you know. I guess that's anything, right? You just figure it out as you plug along and figure out what the hell you're doing.
Sure, too. Especially back then, we didn't really have a whole lot to lose, so why wouldn't you go for it? Like, what was the worst case scenario? You're gonna end up back in the hometown where you were to begin with. You might as well go for it and try.
Yeah.
I'd rather fail and know I didn't make it rather than just like think about it and never do it. And that's my
100%. W. John's on live. He said, "Yeah, Teddy, is that your buddy?"
Who's that? I'm sorry.
W. John. That's his name on YouTube.
I never go on YouTube, so if you have
could be W. John.
My apologies. Tell me your full name.
W. Yeah. Hey, curse him out in the comments if you want. W. John. Just we got on YouTube. There's a little chat thing.
Should I have it up so I can see and engage with all this stuff?
Yeah, you can.
You want to?
Where the hell's D-Wayne? He was giving me shit about not telling him that we had a podcast, and now I told him, and he's nowhere to be found.
He probably got super amped and then blacked out like an hour ago.
Heck yeah, that sounds pretty sweet.
He was getting all pumped up. He's like, I'm going to get drunk and text these dudes. Doesn't he normally work at night when he watches this?
He wrote Wally.
Oh, Wall J, of course. Sorry about that. Yeah, Wally's the man.
See, he calls him Wally J. He calls himself W. John. There you go.
All these different nicknames. Yeah, Wally's my good buddy here out in wine country. We drink tons of beers together and watch standard American football sports here. You know, not big moto, but lots of football, which I'm a big fan.
Does he normally work at night when he watches this?
D-Wayne, he's here.
You gotta mute it.
I'm trying. Sorry.
Oh, well,
Got it.
I don't want to hear my own voice.
It's terrible, isn't it? It's like the worst thing.
You talk about my voice.
Anyone's here.
He's like, yeah, your voice is garbage. Shut the fuck up.
Dude, I don't even get to the comments. I'm pretty ignorant to this YouTube stuff, man. I've just been living in my little
Should
photo
be on
world.
the right side.
Yo, you and me both. I just figured
You finally just got a Chrome browser.
Dude,
yeah, I mean, didn't come with Safari.
Dude, the kids are creating content on YouTube every day. Where are you at?
Every day? What are these kids doing?
He's already got a job.
Not quantity. No, it's just like, let's show ourselves eating food today because we have a camera.
Just dump it out there so you get likes.
That's terrible. I'd rather work a ring toss stand in Jersey than go that.
Chris already has a job, so.
Got to get those views, I guess, whatever.
Awkward silence.
Sorry, I was texting Double D.
Double D is here. Who's Double? Oh, Danny D. Wayne.
Yeah. I know. I can't believe we have never called him Double D before.
Working days now so we can finally sit, drink, and watch. Ah, that's why he was saying. Let me know, because now I can fucking chill. All right, man. You got any questions for Chris? Either one of you guys? Anything you want to know? I know, would you say you got in first with doing more moto or doing more FMX? What would you say opened the door more?
A little bit of both. I think it was just the timing of everything. Like, because back then Travis Pastrana was able to transcend both genres. He was the racing guy who did freestyle, or was he the freestyle guy that did racing? Either way, like, he kind of bridged the gap. So myself being like the same age and like being a fan and wanting to cover everything.
So what you just said is you're the Travis Pastrana of photography. Is that what you're just calling right now?
No. I'm saying, like, thanks to Travis, it was acceptable.
Listen, it's already written as a quote in the caption of this movie, this video. It's gonna say, Chris Tedesco. I am the Travis Pastrana of photography.
Can we go with Carmichael the Goat?
Yeah, that's true. Travis is somebody that should have won everything, but did not, except for freestyle.
It worked out better for him because Ricky was winning everything around that time, so someone had to go a different route and be successful with it. I think Pastrana's employing way more people right now than Carmichael, so
yeah,
he goes to Travis.
You know what? Worth at this point is probably really close. Or Travis is probably more. Just from
I wouldn't doubt it. I like to think so. All the stuff that guy's been through, I hope he's like a billionaire set for life.
Yeah.
He just does this because he's that awesome and passionate.
One time I was down there and he wrecked like an off-road truck, and he said that he talked to his accountant, and the accountant was just like, "Listen, you're not gonna go broke. Just don't do it again." And it was like $670,000 or something. We're like, you can't do this every month,
The 2000s were very profitable for everyone involved in moto and freestyle moto.
Yeah.
It was a pretty great time to be part of it.
For sure.
It wasn't the 90s. I mean, I won't claim that the 2000s were as cool as the 90s with the graph era, but it was pretty darn awesome too. Especially with the freestyle moto movement, just like blowing up with X Games and Tour and Gravity Games and just like Metal Mulisha and like the Reno guys, just like the battles with everyone. It was like such a great time to be part of the sport and capture everything.
Yeah, and you could pick out, I'm sure you could too, because you've watched everybody ride, but especially at that time, I could have told you what scene you were from by your style or your tricks, because different scenes had like different tricks that they did and styles that they had.
Yeah, what was the FMXE style? Because I wasn't really around for.
I don't fucking know.
Unfortunately, I came from the East Coast. And
Who the hell knows? Our style was whiskey.
Pink Boots is the machine. That's what it was.
Yeah, I'll be known for that forever. I had nothing to do with it.
you put on many amateur contests. You gave a spotlight to the up and comers. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, dude, I'm doing a comedy festival this week, and it's the same exact thing. Like a lot of the people are not very grateful about it. They're just very mad about it, and that's how kind of the amateur contests were. Like you did have a handful of people that were grateful and used it to their advantage. Like Nick, that's how Nick got in shows. That's how Davey J got in shows. A lot of people got into shows and met people because of that, you know.
And I never complained.
And Nick just took it for what it was. He was like, I'm coming to have a good time. Kids were always writing me, what's it pay? And I'm like, it's an amateur contest.
Right.
You got it?
I would have done shows for free at that time. I just wanted to ride with other people. So if it's like a contest, I'm in. Done.
There need to be more amateur freestyle contests. There seemed like there were a bunch back in the day with Brian and Mulisha trying to do one. And
dude, right after...
for a while, and you doing one, but then kind of just all fizzled out, I guess.
Yo,
I won Clint's, and then I used that video to apply for that AFMXA one.
Mm-hmm.
And you were the one who emailed me and let me know I was even in it because you're like, hey, I got to do an interview for EXPN or whatever. And I was like, for this weekend? You're like, yeah. I'm like, well, shit, I had like a day or two to get there from Illinois. I didn't even know it. So then I was all nervous and shit.
It was all worth it.
Oh, it was a blast. It was fun.
Yeah, those were a lot of fun times. I think even Jimmy Hillsack Hill came out of the AFMXA contest. He had a pretty cool story about just kind of coming down there last minute and making it out there and look at all the stuff that he's done through there. You know, just gotta try. You know,
yeah.
You never know what's gonna happen.
Dude,
that's the best part about the amateur contest. But
it's crazy looking back at that, the amount of people that came through all those contests, you know, that ended up riding for a while or being really good. Like Hill's gnarly. I wish I could see footage now of it because I was one of the judges, but I don't remember everybody's name because there were so many people.
Yeah, same here.
But then I talk to people and they're always like, "Oh, I was at that. I met you at the AFMXA thing," and I was like, "Oh shit." We got.
I remember because there were a lot of good after parties then too. So
yeah, that's true. Your mom said she was gonna watch to figure out where you went all those years.
Yeah. I packed up. I loaded up with MX Goat John Berlew back in 2006. I was supposed to just take a semester off from college for 6 weeks and just shoot the West Coast rounds of Supercross, and then I never left. I was like, I'm not going back to New Jersey. I have to stay here as long as I can, however I can. Somehow pulling it for like 13
and you made it work. Okay, Danny D. Wayne asks if you've ever wanted to get into filming.
Yes and no. I thought about it, wanted to, but I still make a living in my niche of photography. I'm definitely not opposed to it. I would like to get involved in it more, I guess. And if I were to do it, definitely have to do something with good old Hillsack or Tom P. Film and edit with them or something, because there's two guys super fun to work with. We're on the same level of creativity and understand the effort that goes into making something cool, and we're all willing to sacrifice our time and bodies and everything else that goes along with it to do it. So that would be really fun. So Hillsack, Tom P. Let's film that.
Yeah. What else?
But the real question is, should I do it on an iPhone or actually use a real camera? Because like with today's generation of stuff, like do I even try to use like a real camera, or do I just go full iPhone status?
Yeah, I still think you gotta go good camera. I'm sure your camera, at least one of the cameras you have, is probably good enough to film. Or
yeah, actually all of them can, just for some reason. But yeah, I've done a couple clips. There's one or two on Tom P's Insta, so you know, I have potential if I choose to uncork it, I guess.
What did he say? Remember that magazine back in the day? What's the hold up with starting one? Was it FMX Machine or something? There was a bunch of a couple of
Oh
FMX
gosh,
magazines.
one of my like first freestyle moto experiences with business experiences was with was it Wide Open MX?
Yep.
That was one back in the IFMA days. I can't remember the guy's name. He's like, man, you're gonna get like the biggest check you've ever gotten in photography. I was like 17. I'm like, that's gonna be pretty easy. I haven't gotten a ton yet, but that sounds awesome. And, like, promised me up and down, and just it never happens. That I learned at a very young age that I don't count the chickens until the eggs hatch.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, I don't know. What was it? Yeah, and who was it? Nick Ciotti did a magazine too. Was it MX Machine and MX Rage? I tried a bunch. It just seemed like freestyle as itself wasn't enough to do.
It's not enough. It's not filling arenas itself now either, you know? So it's like, it is what it is. I think that the shit is
freestylers
unrelatable.
are broke. How you gonna get them to buy a magazine?
Right, $5, and you have to like read it and everything. Come on, we're not doing that.
I bought it, and then I was like, they're not fucking making these anymore. They were getting expensive too, because they're from Australia or whatever, weren't they? MX
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, there's Krusty Mag and Freerider magazine was like that was like the best magazine. They had all the best photos and cool stories and whatnot. I was really sad to see that one go. It was really fun collaborating and working with those guys.
Which magazine?
Good times. Freerider Next, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were all good.
Yeah, it was really good content. I don't really know why. I don't know. Shame. Wish they were still around. Buy print media again. It's really cool. You need something tangible. Because when the power goes out one day, you're not going to be able to see any of this stuff. All the digital black boxes that store all these zeros and ones and zeros and ones to make a screen light up.
I like this.
Need something
We're on the fringe of conspiracy theories right now.
Exactly.
That's where we like
That's
to end
exactly
up.
what I was like. We're gonna get deep.
I got existential views.
We're gonna get deep already. Yo, that's the thing. People are like, we're the furthest that society's ever developed, and I'm like, because if society gets to a point where they're like us and all of our shit's on hard drives, think about if anything happens. There's no memory of all the great stuff that anybody did, because that's what's gonna rot first.
Yeah, we'd have some tangible stuff, tapes, DVDs,
a lot of bullshit stories that people tell.
Yeah, but that shit'll fucking all rot away, and you know what you're gonna be left with? Whatever was carved into rocks. And we haven't carved anything in rocks.
I'm carving my photos into rocks now.
You better.
That's the best ticket.
Yo, all that's gonna be left is gravestones. Whatever you have on your gravestone is what the next society is going to think of you.
Yeah, nobody's even doing those anymore, dude. We're going to have nothing.
Dude,
They're going to be like, yeah, people died like in the early 1900s and humans were extinct.
Yeah, no one's going to look at those things. Let's just there's probably a lot of nutrients in that soil. It'll be great for making ruts in your Let's just
Yeah. Hey, Jamie asks, for Chris, who's your favorite mom?
That would be Moto Mom. One of the team, my mom died.
Is that your mom's name, Jamie?
Yeah, mom and Jamie. They're definitely big supporters of my racing, riding, photography career. You know, let's face it, like a 15, 16-year-old doesn't get very far in motocross or photography without the family support. So that's definitely.
It sounds like she was trying to get rid of you, sending you out with all the Into the Wolves in California. Yeah, go take pictures with these dirt bags.
Yeah, exactly. Go hang out with these maniacs.
Like, shit, he came back.
She's very proud. She enjoyed it. She's gotten to be on the floor of some events and stuff like that, so I think it was all worth it. She was into music and punk rock, so was Jamie, guitarist, but for me, my part was with the camera, so.
It's like the Spartans. It's like it's like the Spartans at 16. She was like, "You must go out and find your way."
Yes, you must capture the photos of Pastrana and Deegan.
She's like, I've seen Moto Triple X. He'll never make it back.
No. I would convince him to buy it for us, but I'll never let him watch them. Yeah, Moto Triple X. That was a great series. Schweitzer and Jordan Burns, man, classic right there.
That was awesome.
I actually saw good old Jordan Burns this past week in a straight rhythm. He had the Deegan Supercross winning bike out there. Guy still slings drums, and it's cool to see him keeping Moto Triple X alive. That's for sure.
He had the actual. He had the actual Deegan Supercross bike.
Yeah, he still has Egan's Supercross win bike that he ghost rode at LA Coliseum. He's got that thing. It's all cherry, it's prime. Yeah, that thing's like a showpiece.
How about the one that they covered in glitter?
The glitter bike? I'm not too sure about that one.
Well,
that one might be in the strip club somewhere.
they rode that off of the. I'm pretty sure Deegan Ghost rode it off of the bridge, so I think that one's most likely
Traded it in for bail money.
They scrapped it for bail money. Danny D. Wayne asks if you can buy one of your photos in a poster size.
Sure. Shoot me a DM. I just don't really. How do I say this? I've never really liked charging people for my work. I've always liked billing companies, but I guess if people want to give me money, I'll take it. But I've never been like one to go after the consumer for.
Such an artist.
I guess it's kind of like the Robin Hood approach. Like, let me get the money from the sponsors and the factories and all that kind of stuff, and let everyone else use that money to go ride or something. But hey, if you wanna, I'm more than happy to sell you one. I would really appreciate it too. I just feel kind of weird asking for it.
He's like, here, I've made this artwork for you.
I like money that much. I know you need to have money, but I think it's kind of stupid. But if it helps us ride and take photos, I guess we did.
Listen, people, when Chris starts charging you for individual photos, he's hurting. It's the industry has taken a dump.
Come on. Not many people actually pay for photos, riders at least, especially not the top ones. They don't want to pay.
No.
Nobody does. That's why kids are posting pictures with the watermarks on them all the time.
Yeah, exactly. When my mortgage company starts accepting likes and followers, I'm set. I'm going to be the richest man.
We need to figure out how to turn that into cryptocurrency.
Yeah, definitely. I'll send it closer. Send me a shot you want. I'll hook it up. Make it happen.
Damn.
He says, I'm DMing you soon. He's just trying to send you penis pictures.
All wieners. He'll be like, print this on a poster.
Send someone to your girlfriend or something instead. I'm kidding.
Wally says that the Giants are hanging tough, but I live in New Jersey and I don't even care.
Are they? Wally, after this, can we have some drinks and watch the rest of the game?
Oh, they're on
there's
now?
a game right now?
Yeah.
I don't think we can reference National Football League teams.
Oh, the commissioner's watching this podcast.
I know. You probably got us live.
Well, there was 6 people watching this before, so I think that may be a record on. There's 8 now, Chris. There's 8.
I told you,
8
dude. He's
people?
got a fan base.
8 people.
Dang.
So you better don't get nervous.
You're also probably our first guest that has logged on as well to the YouTube.
You're also the.
Oh yeah, I'm one of those people. See, so we got a -1.
And you're on Instagram talking shit. If you didn't notice.
I love talking shit on Twitter.
Like currently.
You're also like one of the few people that's actually been like, hey, I'm going to be on this show. Everybody else likes to hide it. They're like...
Well, if you're going to do it, why would you hide it?
Thank you, but... Because you understand that this is my art, Chris.
I can tell. It's awesome. Happy to be here.
I just want to give it out for free to the people and make sponsors pay me.
Exactly. See, the Robin Hood approach.
Yeah, which is it's not working so well for me yet, but
so far Clint has just charged me to be on this. I don't get it.
Oh yeah, I still gotta say in the invoice for my time, so don't
He just like e-bullies me on the internet, and then I just send him Bitcoin. I don't know what he does with it.
It's back of IPAs.
You know what I'll do, Chris?
What number are you on?
For payment, I'll like all your photos from all my accounts.
I got some Tedesco photos, I think. I swiped.
Ooh.
From the AFMXA. Let's do some Googling. Damn, I got rid of the Facebook app.
I gotta go and grab another beer.
Are you drinking a beer out of a coffee mug?
No. No, I froze up since I switched to beer. I got a Sierra Nevada hazy little thing IPA.
Those are good.
Is anyone else watching this right now drinking the beer as well? I would love to know what kind of.
Yeah, everybody in the chat, tell us what you're drinking. What are you drinking, D. Wayne? And Wally and Jamie. Is Jamie a wine drinker, Chris? What's she drink?
No, Jamie likes IPAs for sure.
Ah.
Chris, what are you drinking?
I have a Green Flash Soul Style IPA.
Hang on, I'm on the wrong screen.
Nice.
1 second.
In my Langston Motorsports koozie. The
Oh.
Thank you, Grant Langston. I know he likes to drink some beers too, so.
Grant likes to drink beer, Chris? I've never never heard that. Just joking.
You heard it here first.
No.
So what's one of your favorite freestyle moto memories there, Clint? I know you've been around some stuff too. We've seen some things.
Yeah, some of that stuff I can't talk about, but I don't know, man. You know, one of the craziest things was being on the floor with Javier at Red Bull X Fighters in Mexico, or not in Mexico, in Spain. And the crowd was just fucking crazy, and I was like, this is so gnarly, and the courses tucked all in there, and everybody's so close. That was a really cool event. Obviously, I did not ride that one, but I just remember that was towards the end of my career, like where I was kind of getting out of it, and I was just like, this is so hard to get away from, you know, like a screaming crowd and being on your motorcycle all amped up. But,
X Fighters and those bullfighting are next level.
Yeah.
Oh gosh,
and the production, Red Bull's production, you know, is sick. So the whole event was awesome.
Yeah, think about Red Bull, energy drinks in general, what they've brought to action sports between the big three brands, I guess, Red Bull, Monster, and Rockstar, what they've done for the sport.
Dude,
that's off of them. They sponsored and brought a lot of amazing things to life that I know none of us could have afforded without them.
Well, Red Bull for sure. Think about all the events that they helped make freestyle. There was X Games. There was one event a year, and then Red Bull came in and started doing. Besides, don't even count all the demos they've done and all the photo shoots that Red Bull has of freestyle in front of amazing places like friggin' Red Square and pyramids and, you know. But the events that they've done.
Some amazing record jumps that they've done too for New Year's.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, all the New Year's Eve events.
Yeah,
those have been cool shit.
They've for sure helped make this sport what it is, 100%. And especially within the last, 10 years while it's been in a lull and local racing has been garbage, like there's been barely anybody at the tracks. You know, they've been pumping money into the industry and probably keeping it afloat.
Straight Rhythm, I mean, that's probably the coolest event all year. I'm going to go on a limb and say.
I'm with you on Straight Rhythm. It was so sick this year. Just I love it that they're throwing in the young kids. They're battling with, there's 16-year-olds battling with friggin' Cooper and beating them, and you're just like, what? So,
Parker Nash is hauling.
Dude, I was like, is the final going to be like him versus, who was the other one? The other super young kid.
Brandon Hartranft. I mean, he made the final against Roxon.
Yeah, I think I would like to see his time on that last run versus his time on the runs before. I feel like he messed up against Roxon. He made like a couple of
I know
bobbles.
It sounds ridiculous. I still haven't watched it.
Ugh.
I know.
How are you on this podcast?
Hold on up right now on your internet.
How have I allowed you on this podcast?
That was my whole plan. And every year it's on my wife's birthday.
Why change your birthday? Everything's way more important.
She would have been cool with watching it, but I took her out and we just started slamming beers and I forgot.
Oh, the truth.
Got distracted. Happens.
So we got
check it out.
We got Wally's drinking cran and vodka. Sorry,
Oh, nice.
He says he's out of Lagunitas.
Oh yeah, that was my watermark. Bam.
That's from AFMXA the first year.
I can't see it. How can you? Oh, okay. Sweet. Nice flat whip.
Crank.
Look at that.
Look at that extension.
Look at the duct tape on my visor.
Oh
I
man,
blasted it off.
That's a Limber.
That's one of my
Turbo
favorites
Nuts.
right there.
Oh sweet, yeah, good old Paula Raceway or Fox Raceway now.
Yep, Fox
That was a
Raceway.
good time, dude. I think you emailed me those or something. You were very cool about letting me get some pictures.
Try to help everyone out as much as I can. Sometimes I forget, but I do my best.
Dude,
I think I nagged you enough.
He's a humanitarian.
Not always works. Don't ever give up on asking.
Right?
I figured.
It takes like 8 emails before somebody even realizes you emailed them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
Before they're like, oh yeah. Or say
You got to be that guy.
we're doing the rest of the beer checks. Danny D. Wayne has Shock Top. Your mom has Victory.
Ooh, Victory's good.
And then D. Wayne asks, who has the best compound? Fitz, Maddo, or Deegan? And I've only seen Fitz's, but it's pretty impressive.
That's a tough call. I mean, Brian's house pretty much has everything at this point. So I guess if you're going for overall riding, whether it's Supercross, Moto, Foam Pit, I would go with Brian's place. He's even at the truck course out there. But if you're looking for good free ride jumps that are big but we'll use the word safe loosely, I would go Jimmy's house because it's just ridiculous with all the lips that guy has.
For big jumps, they are pretty safe.
Probably jump over that hill. So, what's that?
For big jumps, they are pretty safe.
Yeah, definitely. There are a lot of big rolling landings. I'm not going to say I'll jump it and be like, yeah, they're easy, they're safe. But from what I've seen, although I've seen a lot of wrecks out there too, so anything can go wrong anytime riding dirt bikes. But if you're going for big jumps and freestyle riding, Fitz's. But if you want the overall do it all, go to Deacon's house. Unfortunately, they're like 4 miles apart from each other. Even Maddo's house, like you could pretty much make a triangle out of where those guys live. They're all within like a 10-minute drive here in Temecula, so it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty much the freestyle motocross scene lives within half an hour of that point.
Yeah, for some reason everyone landed here in Temecula, California, even myself because of it. There used to be so much riding, but now it's just turned into like cookie cutter track home area where they're, like everywhere, they're kind of pushing everyone out. But as far as industry goes and riding facilities and tracks, everything is still out here, which is great. You got Acatia, Glamis, you go up to Pismo and Dumont, all the tracks around here, Fox Raceway, Milestone, Kahia, Glen Helen, Paris. There's so many. It's like incredible. You literally can ride every day of the week here if you wanted to, unlike in New Jersey where it's like Wednesday practice, we open at noon, and when we have Saturday, Sunday, and if there's a slight chance of rain, we're just going to call it because, why should we try? It's kind of lame. I wish East Coast would try a little more with Moto. At least like open the track at like 8 or 9 o'clock on a reasonable hour on a Wednesday. If you're already taking off work to go and ride,
right
in the morning.
Sounds like Illinois.
Yeah, people just don't get it. Like you got to put in a little bit more effort if you want to actually be successful. But then again, I don't run the books. I have no idea what the overhead is and what goes into it. But I would like to see more of it. And Englishtown as itself should be like the mecca of the tri-state East Coast area. It should be like the motorsports central. But for some reason, it's just not. I don't know what to say about that.
Yeah,
we grew up racing and riding there. It's kind of sad to see the main track gone. The practice track is the racetrack. But, at least we got a track there at all. It's fun. We rode a bunch out there this summer and got to race a couple times. Broke out a 150 on Craigslist and just bought that thing. And like you said, there's a lot of man on that bike, but make it work. It's fun.
That's
Don't
funny.
sound too ungrateful. I'm very happy that there's like Moto in general.
I guess that's like a 125. So did you just buy that to race that race with Matt?
No, actually what happened was my mom and Jamie, they ended up getting a Jeep because they all want to go off. They live down in Tom's River now, and they want to go off-roading on the beach and stuff. So they bought a Jeep and had a tow hitch. And actually when I saw a tow hitch, I'm like, oh, yeah, that means I can put something in there, which means I put a dirt bike on there. So hey, I opened the door to get a dirt bike again just to leave on the East Coast for when I go back there. So
nice.
Actually hop on Craigslist. Who doesn't like going on Craigslist and seeing what kind of bikes are available? So I almost picked up like an 05 RM 125 And the person just kind of ghosted me after I was like, hey, I got the money. I'm going to come pick it up. So maybe it was a blessing because it might not have been in that great shape. So I found this 150 that this kid picked up. He got like a cash settlement, wanted a dirt bike, bought it. I don't know, like never rode on the track, but you can definitely tell you tried to wheelie it and ride on the street a lot because there was a lot of road rash and tire was ball. But he had it priced super low. I lowballed him a little bit even more, seeing the condition of it. He took it, so I'm like, swoop. So I definitely got some parts and hooked that thing up. Bill hooked me up with a pipe, and Thrill Seekers got me some graphics and won some ODI bars at the Kurt Caselli charity ride event this past December, and threw all that stuff on the bike, and it was prime. I bought a top end kit off eBay for like $120, everything all said and done. My buddy Brandon helped me put it in, and the thing rips. It's cherry. I think rips whole shots against the big bikes. You just got to work a little harder for it.
It's a two-stroke, a 150 two-stroke.
Yeah, two-stroke 150.
Cool.
Thing's bad. It's so fun.
And that's stock. That's how it comes.
Yeah, KTM makes them. They're sweet. They got the 125 and the 150. It's really a 144, just call it the 150. But if you have the 125, you can buy the 150 kit for it and just bolt it on your 125, and boom, you got a 150. So it's really cool with KTM's doing with two strokes. They're trying. They're making amazing bikes.
Yeah.
That's why I got a 350 back here from them. Got the 150 out there. I ride all the oddball size bikes. Too big for a 250F, but 450, I'm like, I don't want to ride that thing. That thing's no fun. I'll admit it.
It'll kill you.
I want to go moto 450. It sounds terrible. I've had one before. It's not fun. So 350 is like literally the perfect bike. I wish the Japanese manufacturers would get on board with making them, because anyone who rides one like ride KTM 429 knows, they're the best bikes. For obviously not like Ken Roczen or one of those dudes, but I guess into the level playing field.
Dude, I want to ride a 500.
What's that?
I want to ride a 500. That's
how
I want to go the other way. I want to go
the
other
way. You're in Jersey, it's like 3 hours away. Just get in your car right now, Clint. Cancel the podcast. Get your ass down to Travis's house and get on the Zilla.
Yeah. That sounds fun.
Like you haven't been down there before. You might as well.
It's been a while, but I don't necessarily want to ride a souped up 500. I feel like that one's probably. I just wanted the stock one's fun.
Get on Craigslist. There's probably someone in Jersey.
Clapped out. Yeah, every stock one's fucking old as shit.
Someone on Long Island's probably got a Cherry 506.
Someone on Long Island.
Oh, yeah. You just got to go to Long Island now. That's
I'll just try and set up a comedy show out there. I'll go out there, do a show, grab a bike.
Multitask.
The show will barely pay for my fuel to drive out there and back. It'll be good.
It's worth it, Clint. It's an investment in the podcast.
It's an investment in injuring myself.
It's all right.
We've done it before.
Yeah, everybody's willing to take that risk. We're all right with that.
For an insta banger.
I mean, if you're not going to get hurt, what are you doing on the dirt bike?
Dude, we'll get this 500. Chris will come back to Jersey. We're going to set it up. Big photo shoot with the 500. I'm going to overjump.
We got to go out to the pits, man. Get Frankie Lettieri, and we'll go send it at his secret jump.
As I was going to say, I'm going to overbomb the shit out of his jumps.
Didn't you guys go ride recently? I saw that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was fun. Super fun.
Bring it back, Clint. Come on. You got to take FMX East back on your shoulders. You go back to Gliddens and all Sarco and hit the pits, man.
Well, I am trying to get a regular, more of a camera that I can film with, because right now I just have a GoPro. So I'm trying to get a camera for interviews and comedy and riding. So, and I've been having fun riding with those guys and jumping some jumps. So that's the first time that I've done any tricks since 2016.
Wow, I'm impressed.
Did
a little no footy?
A little no footy can and the lazy boy. I did lazy boy like 9th hit on the jump. And Frankie's all, what the fuck? I was like, I just did that because it was an easy trick. And Jad's like, I don't feel like that's that easy of a trick.
Lazy boys.
Once you get them down, then they're easy.
Cool out there. He's put in a lot of time. He's like the Vinny Carbone of the East Coast, shoveling.
For sure.
Yeah, exactly.
All
How
right.
about old Derek Perdue? Get him out to a sand pit again.
He doesn't ride other than shows. You know that.
Let's go to the pits. That dude's talented. He needs to get back out there.
I agree with you. Yeah.
We need to see you free ride and have fun again on the dirt bike.
Yeah, but he's home babysitting. I tried to get him out before. He's like, I got the kid today. And the wife's at work.
Off on Jude. Get Derek back out to the pits.
I'll pick him up.
Clint just gets mad and hangs up real hard.
I'm like, fuck you, Derek. I think the place where we shot that. So the Danny D. Wayne, the picture that you were talking about, my legs. It's the day I learned Indian airs. So that's why my legs are apart. It's a very small Indian air because I just figured it out that afternoon. But it's on like a 50-foot dirt double in the back section of this guy's track.
Land.
Exactly. But I think he just sold it. Which is how we got.
It's gone. Yeah. What happened? It's no longer. It's sad, man.
It's a bummer.
The place was like I didn't know you'd call that. It was like a cornerstone of Jersey Moto. Like all the OGs through there.
Dude, it was such a good track too. The dirt was so good, and the track was fun.
Yeah, some peaky jumps, a lot of wood chips and ruts and stuff. It's cool.
So that's what we found, that the double in the back was pretty peaky. It was probably only like 50 feet or something. And then Derek and Derek didn't even have a driver's license. He was like 17. And I'd drive down there.
Yeah, you picked me up after school and drove down.
I'd pick up Chris, which was like 20 minutes from me. Then I'd drive to Derek's, pick up Derek's, which was, another 45. And then we'd drive down Ride, and I'd drop everybody back off. And we'd ride that jump until there was ruts across the entire face of it and just try and learn tricks. And Tedesco was just some high school kid out there with his fucking Polaroid taking pictures.
It was a 2.75 Olympus digital camera. It was like one of the first ones.
I know. I see the big picture. I'm just joking with you about the Polaroid. But I'm sure now that thing is
and then he would spend hours uploading those pictures to his computer.
Yeah, it would take like 3 days.
To tweak them with some bootleg Photoshop.
Yeah, back when you can go on, what was it, LimeWire and all of
that.
Yeah, I'll take that. Like, I'll get a lot of viruses with it, but it's worth it.
Yeah, it's all right. It's Mom's computer. I'm not worried about it. I'll take a chance.
Sorry about that.
All right, let me grab a beer. I'll be right back. Talk amongst yourselves.
All right. Hey, Chris.
Yes, sir.
Did you take this? Where is it at? You take that picture?
I did. That's good old Lustington.
Yeah. It's number 14 of 50.
Yeah, that was a great photo. It was sold for, the unfortunate circumstance of what happened to Jeremy, but I'm glad he got one of those. So it was a really cool thing we all put together when Jeremy.
Yeah, it was very cool.
Passed away. But yeah, it's cool.
It was a bummer, but it was one of those things. It's like, it's going towards something. And then my mom took it and she got it framed and she got it like it's UV protectant glass and everything.
Oh, perfect. We want that thing shaded. It's our Tybor.
It's badass. Who all signed that?
Everyone in the militia. I can't remember who it was. Obviously, like Potter, Twitch, Brian, Taka, Feist. Trying to think of who else. Probably Ox. Yeah, a bunch of the guys. We all got together and did 50 of those, and I take 50 of another shot, and tried to raise some money to help out with all the unfortunate circumstance at the time.
Yeah, that was cool.
I'm glad you have that, because when all the servers go down one day, that photo is still
like this happened. Still think it's a hieroglyphic or something.
Very excited. Carve that thing into the wall.
You missed it, Clint.
What'd you show?
We're doing carvings. Nothing. We can't talk about it.
top secret stuff. You're going to have to watch
Yeah.
on replay of the episode.
When the server shut down, we'll tell you about it.
Tell me, it'll just be hearsay. I heard Chris Tedesco
Thinks he's the Travis Pastrana of photography.
Pastrana photography. Is that up yet on fucking?
It's on.
Oh, it is.
We actually share the same birthday too, so I think it's kind of fitting. We're the same age, same day, same year, so it's kind of weird.
What is it?
October 8th, 19.
October 8th.
We are both 36 years old now. I'll say that out
Oh, we're the same age. As soon as I turn, well, I have the same birthday as McGrath and Metzger, no big deal.
Whoa.
But then I'll be 36. Yeah, I mean, Travis is cool, but he's the combination of those two, right?
That's actually a very good point. Yeah, Mike Metzger, man, I missed that guy.
That was like
He was a very creative, influential guy who was ahead of his time, that's for sure.
Dude, he definitely, his influence on the sport, I think, is, I mean, I guess they call him the Godfather, but I feel like it's underrated, like just the amount of tricks. Basically, in the first couple of years, I'd say 90% of the tricks were invented by Metzger and Pastrana.
Yeah, those guys, definitely.
You know, they made half of the tricks for sure. So,
just Metzger's style. I just loved it.
Super flowy. You could tell he's naturally talented on a bike.
Yeah. And
effortless.
And he'd get just stoked and just do something. You could tell he was doing stuff he'd never done before. He's just like, I'm going to do this. Sometimes it didn't work.
Like after a run that he completed, he's like, hey, I'm just going to go launch myself off the side of this landing and see how it goes. I don't even have to. You know what I can? So I'm going to do it.
Exactly. And
I think that's what made freestyle so exciting back then, was that everything was new. No one knew what the limits were or how far it could go or how far it was going to go.
Yeah. What was allowed, what wasn't allowed. Where's your career going to go?
Even if it wasn't allowed, it was still going to happen. And you don't want to do it even more. The second you start to do that, you're like, oh, I know exactly what's going to happen now.
I mean, I think it was better because back then they didn't realize what they were dealing with yet. And I think the guys are a little bit tamer now. And back then, they really didn't give a fuck. And the promoters were really trying to control them. Where now it's like, oh, it's a rebel run. Everybody knows you're going to do an extra run. But back then, they were like, no, you're done. And these dudes are like, fuck off. I messed that trick up. I'm going back out.
A rebel run now is like a senior skip day, where they're like, hey, guys, next Friday's senior skip day. Go ahead, take it off.
Yeah.
Like, it's not as fun.
No.
If you're letting us do it.
Yeah, it's different times back then. It's really fun to be part of.
I know, that's what I grew up watching. And then Clint would hire me for shows, and we'd start to get wild, and he'd yell at everybody and tell us to calm down. We're going to get kicked out of the hotel room.
You're going to be kicked out of many hotels.
Yeah, well, here's the thing.
You can actually kick things.
Here he comes. Wait.
The shit was on my card. That was the issue. Otherwise, I wouldn't give a shit.
You have to find the one buddy who didn't care, who was willing to put a card down. You're like, I'm staying in that room because you're liable and I'm gone.
Listen, I had no choice. Most of these guys didn't even have credit cards. They were fucking calling me for money to get to the show. Okay.
I had a card, and then I got rid of it as I got into it because it wasn't going towards moto like I told myself it would be. We got kicked out of Pala after that last AFMXA. Me and well, first the Machine got kicked out. Then an hour later, me and Rossi got kicked out. It was hilarious.
What did you guys get kicked
out
for? Machine got kicked out.
I didn't do anything. I was with Rossi.
Sure.
And somebody knocked down a fence.
Guilty by association. Tell a story. Come on.
They can't prove what Rossi did either. I just turned the corner and the fence was gone. Next thing you know, they're telling us to leave. Machine got kicked out because I think Fitz and Deegan were fucking with him, which he kind of had a bullseye. Did you see the guy with the leather mask at the that AFMXA cup, like the third one, I think?
I don't.
He had the tall boots. I'm gonna find a picture of it.
You would definitely.
Clint, you remember the
Remember what?
the flying squirrel from the
Yes.
or the Eye of Mayday.
Yes.
Lurch.
Yes. I told my ex that while he was still doing Supercross. So I'd be like, hey, we used to work with him. And then I'd tell her about it. And she goes, what? And I'm like, yeah.
Sure. You remember that dude?
No, I don't.
Oh my gosh. He's like, he caught Deegan. He's like, Deegan, come back here. He's like, oh shit. Well, then like everybody's drinking at the casino afterwards, and Michaels wouldn't take the mask off, and security kept, oh not Michaels, the machine wouldn't take the mask off, and then they were just feeding him drinks, and the next thing you know, he was on like 10-inch high boots. He kept falling over.
Well, I was standing there, and somebody got down on their hands and knees behind him, and then
yeah.
One of the other ones walked up and pushed him, and he fell over, and then they made this. He got up, I think, and was like, fuck you, and then that's when he got kicked out.
Yeah. I forgot about doing that to people. That's a fun one. I haven't seen anyone do that in a long time.
I bailed on. I didn't even really know him at the time. Not like I know him super well now, but I know him better now. But I knew him like not at all. So I'm just like, I'm just gonna bail out of this because this is already considered my fault. So I'm just not gonna try and stick up for this guy. Sorry.
I barely knew Clint, and then I brought this dude, and then it turned out Clint brought this guy.
Everybody.
I mean, it was my best friend I brought, but
he brings his best friend. But the deal is that since I'm the only one they know from not California, anyone that was not from
east
California,
of the Mississippi,
not even the Mississippi, dude, east of like Arizona. Anybody east of Arizona was my guy, and I got in trouble for him. I'm like, I don't even know that dude. I met him once. Give me a break.
Dude lives out there with Tedesco and those bunch of weirdos. He lives in L.A. Right where he belongs. He's working for Elon.
You got any questions going on over here on the side here?
Oh, let's hear it. We got distracted by the machine.
He said, who's on your, Danny D. Wayne says, who's on your Mount Rushmore? I guess of freestyle.
A Mount Rushmore freestyle. We'll do Mount Rushmore of people I like shooting photos with.
Okay.
So
okay, there you go.
That would be on that Mike Mason for sure. In fact, we always had a great time shooting Mace. That guy has fluid style, and I feel like I knew all this stuff like super well. So getting shots on Mike was a lot of fun. So yep. Who else? Tom P, of course, Jimmy Hill, Todd Potter. How many is on Mount Rushmore? Shoot, drawing blinds at five presidents, four. Am I one?
Doesn't matter. It's your Rushmore.
I'll name one more. Who else was really fun to shoot with that had a killer style? Lusk, of course. Yeah, that guy was amazing.
There you go. Journey. That's a pretty heavy Mount Rushmore.
Heck yeah. Yeah, cheers, Jeremy.
You basically pick
that guy was an active player at the time.
You basically pick like all the most stylish people or like technical people ever.
I like style. I feel like it's something that's kind of lost in today's world of freestyle. It's more just like let's spin or like I don't know. There's no more like real peak apex extension that's stylish. I don't know. I just feel like there's too much emphasis put on front flips and double flips and spinning things.
Stuff that are so gnarly that it doesn't look flowy.
A climactic moment, not like a helicopter.
Yeah.
Falling to the ground, I guess.
Here's the thing with front flips. They're super gnarly, and it's not like a natural motion, so it's like always going to be a struggle to get it around.
Yeah.
You know, whereas your bike wants to flip.
Just ascend it every time.
2000s had style. Those guys had extension. Even Adam Jones, like that guy's runs are still sick, but he just gets shafted because he's not doing these like whirly twirly spin things. And, not sound disrespectful or anything. It's super impressive. It's amazing. I don't think it looks that cool.
He's still doing things that nobody does. He does things that he's been doing for 10 years that still nobody does. Like I don't know. yes, it's not a brand new trick, but it's so technical that people aren't doing it, and that should be taken into consideration.
Absolutely. Judging in freestyle is just, I don't know, I'm glad I'm not a judge. I don't want to knock it because I've never done it. I've never been asked, even though I've like seen every rider's trick a gajillion times. But whatever, my opinion doesn't matter. But it does right now. And I don't know, just tough spot. I mean, even like back in the day with 360s with Brian and Travis and even Bilko doing them, like the 360s never won a best trick contest. I don't think. Oh, I think that one year with Brian, but after that, no one really. Bilko always kind of got shafted doing his 3 variations. Even Travis, it was all about like the flip upside down. I don't know like what director made that call, but it's going to be the flip. But you know, whatever, not my choice.
Do you think that maybe everybody going, oh, that's not really a 360 because it's not vertical. The bike's, you know what I mean? It's basically a flip. And it's like, listen, it's a fucking motorcycle. You're not going to spin it around like a bicycle 360. Like,
different physics are involved.
yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I think maybe that hurt it. But you're right. Like, I definitely think Bilko got shafted a handful of times because he's been so gnarly for so long, you know, and he threes everything.
Yeah, he makes it look too easy. That's the problem. He'll throw it down all the time. And he'll throw tricks with it.
What'd you say, Chris?
That's how I felt riding with Clint. I was always like, I think these backflip things are just fucking overrated.
Tomfoolery.
Nobody appreciates the nuances of a cliffhanger.
Listen,
or something. I don't know. I guess he does that too.
Still consider. I still consider that I hired people that were better than me, even if I was the flipper. I still feel like Ray and Austin and those guys are all better riders than me.
Yeah.
You know.
It's style.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just like,
that's their problem. It's his business.
Freaking Javier too. That guy's like,
oh well,
dude, he's so dialed.
He's so underrated and appreciated for some reason. I don't get it. The stuff that guy goes for and does, he's incredible. He's been around forever.
Forever. He's so mentally strong. To the year that he broke his femur and then came right back and then broke his femur again and then came back and I'm like,
bars off mid flip or something at X Games.
Yeah, well that's not even the year. Yeah, he did a flip Cordova and the bars come off of the clamps. The bolts going through the top triple clamp broke off, and then. But that's not even the year I'm talking about. The year I'm talking about, he broke his femur, like worked his ass off. It was X Games was probably a month after he broke his femur. He got back in the shape, rode X Games in practice for Speed and Style. This was in Austin. It was super windy. He does a lazy boy, gets caught with a gust of wind, re-breaks his same femur. He'd literally ridden like earlier that week, and that was it. And I'm like, oh my god, dude. And then he came back again, and it's still super gnarly, gnarlier than I've ever been after all that.
Yeah, and it's not like he's getting older, and he's got kids, which can be amazing. And his kids are older.
Yeah, his kids are
like that could be a huge that could be kind of in my case, you're kind of like, all right, cool, I'll just focus on this. His kids are killing it, and he's killing it.
Yep. That's cool to see. That's the goal right there. It's a
focus.
Great dad. Way to go, Javier.
#, family goals.
Bink.
Guy's always out at the track, even with him and his wife. They're out there with the family. They're riding. They can tell they love the sport, and that's great to see. Those are the kind of people you like to surround yourself with.
Javier's dad rode. His dad used to race.
Even his brother rode too. I remember his brother too doing all the freestyle shows.
Well. Javier will even say that Gabriel's the talented one. Gabriel will dude, he'll slack forever and then he'll come out and ride for like a week with Javier and learn like all the tricks that Javier took like months to learn. He'll just learn them and then he'll be able to do them. And Javier's like, "Fuck you." What the?
Is he still around? I haven't heard of that name in a while.
Yeah, Gabriel's around. He's been doing the Big Air ATV tours, and I'm sure he's been doing some other stuff, but I know he's done that stuff. He's actually got a kid on the way, so he better be.
First show I ever did was with Gabriel, and it's like I hadn't really been around people flipping yet, and it was my first show. It's metal to metal on concrete, and then you just see people flipping. It just makes your stomach like it gets you nervous. It's intense. What are you looking at, Tedesco?
Looking at what Danny Dwayne's saying here. I kind of front flips is the trick where physics is going to stop the progression. Yeah, it's kind of, I don't know, front flips don't look cool. They're gnarly, I get it, but they just don't look cool.
Chris, your mom wants to know who takes pics of you when you ride.
I don't know if anyone has them. Send them to me, please. I paid a couple guys. I actually pay for my own photos, believe it or not. I'll support other photographers. I'm like, I would like this to happen every now and then for me. So, pay the favor back.
This fucking guy's a man.
It's hard if you could take
boys.
a picture.
Say that again?
I said you're a man amongst boys, just helping out, the people.
He already called himself. He's the Robin Hood. He's Travis Pastrana.
He's the goat.
Just fucking with
He's a Ricky Carmichael of photography.
I was thinking that earlier when you said that about Javier. I'm like, he's like Ricky Carmichael, because Carmichael always says he's not the most, he busts his ass to get to that level. And then like Gabriel is naturally talented. Sometimes that can kick you in the ass a little bit.
I think so. I mean, here's the thing.
Necessarily have the drive.
More people know of Javier than Gabriel, but Javier will tell you that Gabe is more talented. So, I don't know.
You just ride on
talent. Who would you say the most talented rider in freestyle is right now, Clint?
Right now?
Opinion? Yes. In the current freestyle landscape. I have my answer in my head, so I'm going to wait to see what you say.
Most just straight talented?
Or most exciting. I don't really want to label it too much, but who's your favorite rider, the best tricks, right now?
Well, see, there's different genres now.
When you get put on the spot, this is hard.
No, I mean, there's different genres. I think that if you were going to go just straight like talent and style, it's hard to get past Bierman, Axel, and Colby. The three of those guys are super talented on bikes and do a lot of cool stuff. I would say at the top level. I think of just like a sneak guy. This is a horrible answer. I'm not really fucking giving you a straight answer. But a person that I put up there is not as big of a name as Jimmy Hill. He's super ridiculously talented too and does all these cool stuff, that nobody else is doing. And I love that. Straight.
Jimmy's kind of his own genre of motorcycle riding.
Yeah, but
he does it all that.
Yeah, he does everything, and he's super good at everything. And when I rode with him, like you could tell he's just ultra talented, and that's how I feel like watching the stuff Colby does, like his Real Moto. That was fucking ridiculous. Everything in that was like,
that was cool.
I don't want to do any of it.
Would you consider that freestyle, or would you consider that free riding?
That's what I was just thinking.
I think of like,
because everybody there.
Here's the ramps. Do your best tricks.
Yeah.
Okay.
I kind of think of Behrman and Colby and Axel as like free riders.
Well, that's what I was saying. Just if you
freestyle with them like Tom Paget.
So we agree that Clint is wrong.
No.
100%.
Okay, so if we're going freestyle contests, then it would probably have to be Pages, just because he's doing all this stuff that nobody else does at all.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean,
it's hard because there's a change now.
He was hurt
with the
this
younger,
year.
with Bierman, all those guys. There's more of a style component where it's like their style is making up, and the scenes that they're riding in are making up for a whole variety of tricks.
Right, but that's just what we were saying. Is that's more of a free riding element, whereas that's why I was saying just straight talented people that are super flowy on bikes and you can tell have a ton of bike control. I would say those three guys. Beyond that, if you wanted to go actual straight-up contest people, then, yeah, probably Pages. And then it's really hard between, like, I think Clinton Moore is super underrated. David Ronaldo. he does everything, and he does everything really good. You know, I don't think he wins as much as
What
he
about
should.
Bobby Battleberg?
Bobby Battleberg.
Battleberg, too.
We talked about him a few weeks ago.
Yeah, he's super gnarly too.
We never dubbed over those videos.
I know. I've been thinking. I haven't had time, but we need to do it. I did a bunch of interviews the first day, Chris, and we didn't have any audio. So Nick does a good.
Look at you can't talk to fucking a dude who does this stuff and tell him that. He just lost all. He's probably like, I just wasted my.
He does
past
photos.
Hour talking to you guys. I don't even know if this is recorded.
Ain't even recording right now.
When I was trying
we don't even know if we're on the internet.
You got film in that camera?
What's
Where's
film?
your memory stick?
D. Wayne says FMX is Pages.
He already retracted a comment though. Danny D. Wayne, stop retracting tweets.
You're not allowed to. It's redacted. He redacted it. That's. Yeah, it's a real bummer he got hurt before X Games, especially since we haven't seen him in months and months, you know?
Shoot, speaking of hurt, we kind of forgot about Levi Sherwood, too. Like, that guy's been injured the past 2 X Games.
Yeah. Well, I was going to mention... Yeah, I was going to mention him, too, as far as talented. And he's a guy that has ultra good style, too. I think that...
Dude, he's double flipped 75 feet.
Now he has, on some... I think it's a special ramp.
That's fucking crazy.
But there was definitely a time. There was definitely a time when I think that Levi won some contests he shouldn't have because he has such an amazing style and extension, where other people were doing body varials and stuff, and he was just doing really big KOD flips and still won. And I'm like,
yeah. But if you got 2 people doing a double grab, one does it way fucking wilder looking. It's like, yeah, that's it. I mean, everything he did was stretched out, twisted.
I know, but if somebody's doing varial, if you're doing really cool, I mean, quote unquote regular tricks, like saying double grab flips is regular because we're at Rebel X Fighters, and like half the people are doing flares and body varials, then now that becomes a regular trick, a KOD flip. And you can't beat a flare and a body varial because you got sick extension.
Speaking of body varials, how has no one done the Corolla? That was done in 04.
See,
no one's done a Corolla. Not even Puppet Chuck has landed a Corolla since the Staples Center.
Because
no one.
I
15 years ago, no one done it.
This is my personal opinion on that. He did it the hardest way possible. He did it super can, and then spun. I've had this conversation with Chuck, and if you know Chuck, this was a hard sell. He was not very apt to listen to anything I had to say. But he went super can, okay? So when you super can, you roll your arm out, and then he went around that way, and he had to spin around and look and then grab back onto his seat. If you remember, I have a body varial harness, and I was working on doing the same one, which I didn't realize he did it. Caleb Moore did on the snowmobile, which was an Indian Air, basically a one-handed Indy, and then spun that way. And when you go that way, you're spinning out of your one hand.
Away from your arm.
And then you're going directly into your other hand as you come around. The other thing is you can twist your legs and then wrap them around each other, and that starts your spin. Versus Chuck had to do a sick-ass huge super can and then swing himself around. So I think the other way.
So why did he do it that way?
Because he was just doing super cans. No, he was doing super cans huge. And he goes, I think I can spin around this way. So in his head, that was the easiest way. And I could be totally fucking wrong. But I think that spinning the other way would be a more feasible way to do it.
Makes more sense.
How about Davy J's latest decade varial? That was pretty awesome to see Davy J come out. Bust that, stomp that.
100%.
Wanted to see some detail on that triple clamp setup.
Did you borrow that from Travis? How did that come?
No, they made their own.
Not.
Yeah, we had them on here. They made their own.
Wow.
They made their own
good
triple
old Texas
clamp.
ingenuity.
Yeah. And I asked him, he said he has a hole in the center, and his front brake lines go through the hole, and then he spins his bars the opposite way to get them cranked up, so that way when he spins back around, they're back normal. Yo, if I was
really happy.
If I was to do that, I would have it spring loaded so it shot me around there.
You go off the ramp and the spring just
I go
shoots you to the left
around the top. Yeah.
When you get to race again, you ever going to go to E-Town and dust off a bike, get back out there?
Yeah,
get back to the roots?
I ride a little bit. I raced the last race at the main track on Englishtown, the regular one. I raced that, and then I raced once or twice after that at Englishtown, and I realized that riding a race once every couple of months is a horrible idea. Like only not practicing and only riding races every like 3 months was a bad idea, so I just stopped doing it. You know, because
just book some comedy shows in the Oakridge area on Wednesday evenings, and you go ride in the morning or afternoon, whatever it is, and then go there.
Dude, I set up that Motoco premiere at Zupco's theater.
Zupco runs that place?
Yeah, so there's Zupco's bar. He owns that, and he owns the theater, the Denellen Theater.
Oh, no, I didn't know that. I knew he had the bar. I didn't know about the theater.
Yeah, he's got both of them. So I was like, when I saw that movie was coming out, Tom posted that he was filming for the movie. So I text Zupco because I did a comedy open mic in his bar, and my whole goal is to put a big comedy show in the theater at some point. And so I did the open mic, and then I talked to, or I saw the movie, and I saw Tom was on it, and I go, hey, there's this movie, they normally do premieres, I'm going to try to get one in your theater. He's like, go for it. So then I reached out to Tom, and I go, Tom, you're filming for that movie? He said, yeah. I said, are they doing premieres again? And he goes, yeah. And I was like, well, I got the perfect theater for them. And I didn't hear anything for like a month. And then finally Tom goes, yo, I forgot to say that they wanted to talk to you about the premiere. So I got his number. We text back and forth, set it up there. And then, you know, I knew it was a perfect setup because obviously Richie's in the moto community, so he could, you know, put it out there. And it's super cool, just the dynamic of it being a motocross movie and Richie owning the friggin' theater, you know. So it was pretty fun.
Yeah, I was wondering how that came to be, how they ended up there. It all makes sense now.
Yeah, and that's the Pulp thing. The Pulp show before Jersey Supercross is the same thing. Yeah. I was booking comedy in a room downstairs, and I knew that room was upstairs. And when they were like, we're doing live shows, I started reaching out like, hey, I have the perfect room for you. And ended up talking to Steve. We went back and forth, and I set that up. And then, like, same deal, like 3/4 of the way through, I'm like, yo, I would really like to open for you guys with some dirt bike comedy. And he said, okay. So, I mean, the hardest thing with that is with comedy, you have to do it in front of people so that you can figure out what works and what doesn't work. And, you know, I don't have crowds like that to talk about anything motorcycle, even remotely related. They just stare at me. So it's basically I go into these events with 100 people, you know, plus with some shit that I've never said before that I think will probably work, you know.
That sounds scary.
It was rough. The first one, I only had so much motocross jokes, and I ran out, so I tried a regular joke, and when I first told the motocross joke, they really laughed, and I was like, it threw me off because they laughed so hard at it, and I was like, oh, fuck, I don't have that much dirt bike stuff. So then I kind of froze up, and then I did a little bit, and then I went into regular jokes, and everybody stared at me, so then I was like, okay, here's the show, and I just fucking bailed off stage and introed those guys. And then for the next one, I wrote out like a whole set that I figured would go about 10 minutes, and then it went better. But now I know, you're if you're in a crowd like that, you just do straight dirt bike stuff. So for Moto, the movie, I did some more just straight dirt bike stuff, and then I realized a couple of points to mess with people in the crowd, because I do a lot of crowd work anyway. I talk to people and try to get funny stuff out of them. So, huh?
Find someone to pick on in the front row.
Yeah, I pick on all people all over the room.
He's a boy. He does.
And then sometimes you get people that are just like get amped and they start yelling stupid shit out, and then it's just like a gold mine. It's like too easy to pick on that guy. So I usually try to find that guy. I want the guy. I want the guy that's drunk. He's all just yelling shit at me, because they usually say stuff funny, that's easy to make jokes of. But I realize like it's good to make fun of. It's easy to make fun of moto dads. Like I asked some kids, I was like, "Who's a moto dad?" And the kid's like, "He is." One guy was like, "I am," and I was like, "You?" I was like, "Hey kid, blink 3 times if he forces you to ride. You don't even do you even like riding? Is he making you?" So it was better.
How good was Tom part in that movie?
Huh?
How good was Tom P's part in the new Moto Co movie?
Tom P's part was awesome, throwing upside down whips like out in the middle of nowhere. Off fucking natural shit. He's a super good rider too.
Yeah, Tom's a great person to work with. He's super talented on the bike, off the bike, with the camera. Good person to work with.
Yeah, does he pick your brain about photography?
Tom actually knows quite a bit. He's, not to tell him too much, we definitely bounce things off of each other. And sometimes I ask, Tom, do you want to take the picture and have me ride for you? I don't want to, I don't really feel like anyone, but, I actually stunt double for Tom quite a bit. Like a lot of those crazy shots that you see are actually me and Tom's taking the picture, because he's such an avid photographer.
It did look like you and
you go out there and send this for me. So Lee made me a set of Tom P gear, and I have like a whole kit. Totally good.
Who did the real moto picture
for
X Games?
And I'm like, Tom, I'm really not that good. Like, I'll go on a track and jump some stuff, but free riding's scary. Like, much respect to those guys. Like, hey, there's an embankment of like a natural curvature, and here's another one over here. I think we can like go this fast and jump over this. And just like, sure, I'll go. This angle looks good over here. Just let me know. But Tom's incredible with the stuff he does out there. It shows in all his parts.
Yeah, dudes like that, they got like timing is just insane, especially natural stuff.
Yeah, he's good at finding stuff. If I had to be stuck in a van traveling the country with people, it would either be with Tom P or Jimmy Hill. There's other people on the list, of course, but as far as currently, being creative, those are my guys. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, they both
actually
do.
Actually, almost that season again too. Coming up on desert season. Tom P, are you healthy enough yet? Can we like go film and shoot some stuff? Because I got a hankering for gas station snacks and dinners. I can't wait. One time we did we were trying to find a good spot for the Milky Way photo we did for X Games. So we spent like so much freaking time traveling the country for like over the course of 2 years. We'd actually spend 2 years on it, but during that time frame, we went on like many different locations and shoots, and like failed quite a bit. Like, it's not fun to like go and like travel for 6 hours and like sleep in the back of a van on the air mattress and freeze your butt off and like have no amenities, and then like leave disappointed because you couldn't find what you're looking for. But I guess it kind of happens when you're trying to do something that no one's really ever done before. You're gonna come up.
Yeah.
I guess what you consider short, but it's really just all part of the process. But when you're in it, you're like, why can't I do this?
How'd that all go down? How'd you pull that one together?
Well, a lot of, as Todd Potter would say, gigadorking. Just like, knowing settings and like the map locations to where we thought it would line up, and Tom had to find a location where he could actually jump something in the dark, which is pretty sketchy. Like, I couldn't even see when I was walking around, let alone being on a bike and having like crack a whip or something. easy for me to say, Tom, just do it. Just go ahead and I'll take the picture. What's wrong with you, Ted? Shut up. This is scary. But sometimes I had to pull out my inner Jay Schweitzer every now and then and go, do it. But yeah, we found this one spot and we went out to Death Valley many times. But the location where we actually ended up getting the shot, we went out to 3 different times to try to to scout it and find out what would work and how we could do it. But essentially, it was almost like a panorama photo. So we shot it in sections, and we knew where the action was going to be, and we shot the action, and then shot the rest of the frames, and then put it all together in Photoshop because you have all these different photos in a row, and you have to blend them together seamlessly. So it's definitely a lot of a science of timing with the rotation of the Earth and the Milky Way, our galaxy that we're floating around in, along with a jump that Tom can do in the dark and setting it up with lights and getting it done just right to expose them properly with the Milky Way. It was a pretty awesome project, and all that time and effort. We got second in that contest. I was a little disappointed to just keep it nice and PC, but we gave it our all, and I think. Well, we might not have won. I think we won. But we definitely need to get back out there and do some more.
What won?
What's that, Clint?
What photo won?
Black and white fisheye photo. Skateboarder.
That's rough.
I mean, no disrespect, but
total disrespect.
Dude,
now I understand how Bilko felt. That's true. You're like, really?
Yeah.
All right.
Tedesco disproved flat Earth theory with his photo.
At least Bilko got medals for that, as we're with the photo thing. It's just oh yeah, winner take all gold medal.
Oh yeah.
Have a nice day. So. So for the past 3 years they've had that contest. Tom and I have come in second twice.
Shut up.
No medal to show for it because they don't give a medal for second or third. So that's a little disappointing. But we got to keep on trying. So Tom, let's get in the van and go shoot some more stuff somewhere else.
Can you tell us what your plan is this year now?
I don't know. I put so much thought and effort into that Milky Way shot with Tom that I don't know what to do next.
I was going to say, that's hard to go up from.
Yeah, I mean, literally capturing the galaxy that we're in, along with action in the middle of the night in an epic location like Death Valley. I mean, shoot. I don't know. I got to go back to the drawing board for that one, but fortunately we have some time. And actually, the contest is a little bit different this year with the way they're structuring it with different themes and whatnot, so I don't really know how we're going to go about it, but we're definitely not done, and we're going to give her hell and try again, right? There's nothing else we have to do. That's what we've done. So let's keep on doing it.
I think you do something, you really up the difficulty, like ride in Amsterdam without doing drugs.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
You can't do it.
Matt already did it on the water. Didn't he ride the water bike through Amsterdam recently? Or was that
I don't know, did he? Oh, yeah. I think
he thought he did. He was on drugs. He never even went to Amsterdam.
They figured out how to video his dream. That's all that was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty remarkable with all the stuff he's done. That guy's wild. Hats off to him.
Yeah, super. Yeah, talk about thinking out of the box, in a different way than Paj has, but he's still, doing stuff that, nobody, a water bike? Really? You're going to jump up the Arc de Triomphe?
He got bored with distance and jumping on top of huge buildings and dropping off of crane setups.
Exactly.
He did all the crazy, and now he's doing, stylish type stuff.
And he's not. Who knows what else he has cooking in that head of his? I can't wait to see what idea he puts out there. It's gonna be awesome.
Of course.
Yeah, man. Well, what do you gotta put the kids to bed, Nick?
Come again?
Yeah, there's a battle going on about homework in the house. I went there to go to the bathroom.
You don't know anything about homework?
No, you know what? I went in and I did math wrong. I said, Bryn, I know all this math. She's like, well, yeah, what's 5 divided by 5? I fucked it up. Or 25 or 15 divided by 5. And Christy looks at me. I'm like, you know what I meant. I said the right thing.
5 divided by 5 is a negative number, isn't it? It's like negative
15
4.
divided by 5, and I was thinking 25 divided by 5. So I said 5, and I'm like, no, not 5, 3. And then she caught me. So I came back out here. But I got to go straight. And it's all new math, too, so everything's got squares and cubes and all these extra numbers you got to do.
Math is very important.
I know. That's the only thing I do at work is math. Not the only, but a lot of it.
Yeah,
not the complicated math, the multiplication.
You're just counting money, though, Nick.
I'm counting. Ow! Clint doesn't even know what I do.
He counts money.
Yeah, I count money. I wish.
Nick's like, how many bales of shingles do you have? That's $2,000.
Bales of shingles. Yeah, that's it. Bales of shingles.
How many shingle bales you got there?
Clint's like, I'll do 20 funnies for $50 a pop.
That's right. That's right. Exactly.
That's all you get. You want me to host it? It's another $50.
That's right. $2 a funny. All right. I've gotten paid $20 for 10 minutes or 8 minutes, so that's like, you know what I mean? $2 a minute.
50 people, 2 drink minimum. This is math.
Yeah, what
Overhead
pays better, comedy or freestyle, Clint?
What?
The amount of time you put into it. What pays better, comedy or freestyle?
Come on, that's a silly question.
Comedy for sure.
Right? No.
We all know that.
Right now, fucking dirt bikes, definitely. I mean, if I got to a point
what
where
is it?
I've made more money.
What does it take to get flip play?
Me promoting the
comedy.
show. Me promoting the show. And getting ticket money.
But when you were getting flip pay, you were kind of promoting it, or at least running the ramps.
Yeah, but like just I could break it out what I got paid to flip, you know, versus like the ramps and everything. But I always charged, even at the end, I charged $2,500 to flip. I never really flipped for less than that. The most I did book a show and I made $1,200 off of the show. One night, but that's the only time that's happened for me so far. And
that's the night I crashed out and Clint refused to pay me.
I'm saying comedy. I'm saying comedy. I did a show. I got all the tickets. I had to pay people out. I made $1,200 after that. But that's the most I've made doing
but
comedy.
you risked no medical bills.
No, I agree. Believe me. People say that, aren't you scared? And I'm like, no, I'm nervous. Scared as you might die. Nervous as people are not going to laugh at you.
To some people, that's dying.
But not in a good way.
I've seen Clint try to off himself before at a show.
Jeez.
At a comedy show or at a dirt bike show? At a dirt bike show.
Somebody else was Snapchatting you at a comedy show after a set went bad.
And I was just like, I gotta...
Clint's got a belt around his neck. Just tugging on it.
No, that dirt bike tried to off me at that show you're talking about.
Yeah.
My bike shut off, Chris, and then I nearly died, and then Nick stole my jersey that they cut off me.
There it is.
I think Chris locked up. The weather's too nice there. The internet went down.
The sun, he can see it. Look at it. You blocked up.
I still see myself.
Stole it.
About
and look at it, Clint. I even hung it up. I put screws in the wall.
Damn.
Search it up.
Am I still frozen?
No.
I'm never frozen.
I think you were just
No,
staring
you're never
at
frozen.
us.
So what would you say is one of the most influential moments in freestyle moto history?
Probably when I made the landing ramp on the East Coast. No.
Didn't Brody Wilson make a landing ramp on the East Coast?
Brody Wilson?
Yeah.
No, I did. I had like third or fourth in the world, probably.
Whoa.
I built mine in 2001. At that point, there was that wooden one on Warped Tour. There was Mark Burnett's, and I don't know of any other landings when I finished mine.
Clint's was made out of cardboard, but it was one of the first ones.
That's right. No, maybe LB.
So
I think
egotistical moment of him building a landing ramp. What's your most influential freestyle? Just kidding.
No, I would
I
say.
guess.
Oh, you're asking Nick now. Being
Yeah,
serious.
the guy who built the third
What'd you mean?
mobile landing, invited me on his podcast.
There you go.
to heckle me.
There were so many better moments than both of them.
Talking to the Travis Pastrana photography of motocross tonight is the moment.
Right
now. There you go.
So tell me.
I would say Metzger doing that first, second gear flip. Which, besides that, think about this. People had only done it off of super kickers to that point. Nobody had done it in second gear, period. The very first second gear flip is done in a contest, 85 feet, dirt to dirt. And then how long did it take? How long after that did it take people to start even flipping dirt?
Yeah, you could tell he just had the feel for it.
That's for sure.
So
Philadelphia too, East Coast event.
I actually did a show with him the week prior to that. I was on doing the Boost Mobile tour or whatever, freestylemx.com, and he goes, "I'm gonna flip second gear," and I go, "Do you think that you can?" And he literally turns, he goes, "I know I can." And I was like, "Whoa, settle down, man." But so like he was doing it either way. But I mean, I think that it's lost on a lot of people. Nobody's ever addressed how gnarly that is. That most people didn't even think that was possible. And very first time, he goes, anybody flips over 45 feet or even in second gear, it's 85 feet and dirt to dirt, which it took people a couple of years to start flipping dirt after that. And that was the very first second gear flip in a rhythm section, dirt to dirt, 85 feet. Super gnarly.
X Games 2, live TV, pressure's on.
Yeah, you got one shot
unfazed.
at this. This is go time. Dude pulls it. And I've seen a interview with Travis. They go, what would you have done? And he goes, listen, it's easy to, or it's on chapter 1 or something. And he goes, it's easy to say what you would have done, should have done. He goes, but I'm pretty confident I would have dropped in right behind him and done backflip no footer to backflip no footer. 150% he would have done that. 150%. Like the
only person who can even make that statement, and everybody goes, maybe, I don't know.
No,
not like,
maybe.
You're full of shit.
Listen,
Travis,
he may have crashed his dick off, right? I don't think so, but he would either way, crash or make it. He was going for it, 100%.
Oh, he wasn't gonna think long enough for it to cross his mind that he was gonna crash.
No, he for sure. It didn't matter at that point. X Games, you're Travis Pastrana. You're definitely pulling the trigger.
X Games, Metz's backyard, it wouldn't matter. That's the level those dudes are on.
Yeah. No.
That was a fun level.
I've said it a million times. I think that Travis, like his brain takes in stuff faster than, like it processes stuff faster than the rest of us. Because he does shit, you're like, what the fuck was that? Like, how do you even... He
probably would have been some sort of scientist, but then he got a dirt bike and he's like using that brain power to, I don't know, nitro circus.
Nitro circus, thanks to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is wonderful. That tour's great.
Have you done anything on it, or what have you done on it?
I have photographed Nitro Circus tour many a times, and they're live, Evil live events too. Like I was working with the History Channel and Nitro Circus to document Travis's jumps.
That was cool.
So yeah, I was like the television photographer, which is like pretty rad. I had like my own assistant and like a digital editor and like a whole team of people. Like, what do you need? Like running around all over the place. And I'm like, wow, the fact that I even have like help right now is like huge and weird because normally I'm just out there like puffing it and running myself, like responsible for all editing and file like transferring and all that kind of stuff. So to have a team, I was like, oh wow, this is great. You know, like I really appreciate this. So, you know, like finally made it. You know, wow, this is cool. But it's like keep the pressure, a lot of pressure, because like, oh wait, now that I have all this assistance, I still have to get the shot. I'm like, I have no excuses. I really have to get it now. So that was pretty fun to watch him. You know, jump the crush cars, then the buses, and then to jump over Caesar's fountains on the Indian was really cool. And it was so packed too, the amount of people there. Like everywhere you looked around, like on every casino balcony or parking garage, any vantage point you could get of the area, it was full of people. To see like how a motorcycle can bring that many people together in one place is really remarkable. Like the power that two wheels really have and offer. It's incredible. And, you know, they include Travis with that, and to have him actually do it successfully in Travis Pastrana fashion, like it was a no-brainer to have him do it. It was really cool to see all those people there and to be part of it. It was really electrifying. It's kind of hard to top a lot of these incredible events I've done, because you're like the level of like what you're shooting and like the people involved in it and the energy of the crowd. It's really exhilarating. It's like there's definitely like a come down after like shooting something like that. So just like it's so crazy and remarkable, and it's like you're next to the guy jumping, like you're one of the closest pieces of the puzzle to capture it. You know, you're right. I'm right there next to Travis, you know, or at any event. You know, the day after, you're like, ooh, it's almost like a hangover. You're like, my gosh, like that was so crazy. Now what? It's like kind of quiet and nothing's going on. I need to do something to like kind of try to match that, or you know, get on the bike myself, or try to find something else to shoot to kind of balance it out. All those things are just wow. It's like it's a rush. Like I can only imagine what it feels like to actually do the jump and land it. I can't even imagine like what goes through the athlete's mind when that takes place, and like the feeling afterwards, because I know what I feel and I'm not even doing it. So I can't even like begin to imagine. It's incredible to work with so many talented athletes at their prime and peak, and to be able to capture that in the best way that I see possible, and to be trusted to do that. It's like incredible. I'm very, very grateful for all that.
Yeah, and that, you know
It's
what?
a lot of pressure.
That's a good realization to have now in your life while you're still doing it, because a lot of people overlook all that stuff and don't they take it for granted, you know, until later when they go, oh, that was really cool or whatever. So it's I think the last like probably 6 or 8 years of my career, I was like, this isn't going to last forever. And I kind of started to try and take stuff in and use those trips as, you know, to get to see stuff and just really take in the moment, like you were saying. And that's why, you know, I was at a point where I was pretty much kind of fading out of freestyle. You asked me before about one of the the craziest moments, and being on the floor for that event made me realize, like you're saying, that I couldn't totally walk away from performing and being in front of a crowd like that, you know, like I needed to figure something out. At that point, it was like, I got to ride some more, you know, but I think that avenue probably reached its end. But yeah, live events and being in front of people and the nerves and the excitement and all that is hard to beat.
Yeah, that's the closest thing we can get to being a rock star. The motorcycle is the instrument.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, now I like doing the comedy, because the instrument is just my thoughts and fucked up stuff that I come up with to, you know, talk about or whatever. So like
Jersey, I know you got a lot of them up in there too.
Yeah, exactly. It's, you know what, a lot of it is like last night I had a hard time. It was kind of a rough crowd and I didn't necessarily jive with them. So I just had to stay myself and go like deeper. I like figured out whichever jokes were the most weird or creepy that I had. I went those ones. So I'm like, I'm either going to win you over, you're definitely going to dislike me. But it's like, we're already at this point here. So I'm just going to stay the course.
Have you considered going like full on Andrew Dice Clay? Bring that style of comedy back?
No, I just say, like.
He does wear a leather vest.
No shirt underneath, just a leather vest. No, I got a bunch of ridiculous jokes that are like, they're not real. I just made them up because it's ridiculous shit to say.
That's always fun. I love saying ridiculous stuff. It's just bad when you like tweet it or like post an Instagram post about it when you buzz. You're like, oh, I shouldn't have said that.
I know. Every morning when I wake up and I see all these comments back, I'm like, who did I?
Who was that guy?
I was running my mouth.
Well, that's the great thing about being a comedian is that now it's just an excuse. It's like, oh no, it's a joke. I'm a comedian.
I think little shit is completely acceptable. I mean, I want to live in like a culture where all we have to say is like happy fairy tales and rainbow BS. Like you should be able to express all your emotions. There's no sense in being like these ones aren't acceptable because they're not PC and aren't marketable, so therefore it's hurting our overall value and like our return on our investment. Like it's kind of it's like, you know, we shouldn't be robots because none of us like are. We all have emotions. You can be pissed off, you can be happy, you can say some messed up stuff. If you don't
like it, move on.
Yeah, say move on.
No.
So now it's like you're like forever. Like, you see the latest Chappelle stand-up on Netflix?
Oh yeah.
Where he's like making the audience, where he's like, oh, I'm gonna, no matter what you do down the line, I'm gonna find out. If I find something, I'm gonna like hate you, like hold it against you. Like it's just crazy what like.
Yeah, he's like, do you know who the worst people are? And everybody's guessing Trump, this and that. And he's like, you motherfuckers, you are the worst people I've ever tried to entertain. He's right. And dude, I live, you know, like being here and where I do most of the mics, like out where I'm at, there's not shit. Everything's like right next to the city basically. And in the city, and everybody in this area and scene is so PC, dude. Like
that's not comedy.
Nah, it's a little bit rough. I'm like, there are definitely people that dislike. Like, I went to a mic one time in Philly, and it was hosted by two women, and one's like, I'm a lesbian, and the other one may have been a lesbian, I'm not sure. So I thought
Look at that little trick he just did. Hang on. The 2-bottle opener?
Not from Potter.
Nice. All right, back to the lesbians.
So I thought I would do ironically funny jokes in this room. And other than Jason Rowe and Ray Bennett, nobody else thought it was ironically funny. Okay, the one female host did. The other one literally wanted to stab me. But the one female host was laughing like she thought it was funny. And the rest of the room was dead silent staring at me with their mouths open for the whole time. And I was like, all right, fuck. I read that room totally wrong, Chris.
That's what was so cool about freestyle back in the day was that like everyone just said what was on their mind, and that was like what came out. And it was so unique and organic. But now it's much more contrived. I feel it's like this mold that's like completely ridiculous.
Well, it's the same thing with Moto's obviously a further example of that, and how everybody's just the company line, you know, like my bike ran great, tires hooked up, you know, I adjusted the clickers and the pull rods for a little extra power. Here's a sticker.
Yeah, it's nonsense. What other professional sport does that? None. Like, just pay the guys money and let them be themselves. Like, they're already selling for you. Like, I'm not going to buy something from a company because Ken Roxon says it on the podium. I already know who represents Roxon. Like, I don't need him to be like, yeah, thank you for this and that. Like, just tell me what you really think. Give me, like, your actual feelings, and nothing should be held against them in a negative manner from what they say. But I'm not in charge of that stuff.
I think the issue is that they're afraid of the PC culture being like, oh, this guy, you know, drinks beer on the weekend, so basically by endorsing him, we're endorsing beer drinking, and we can't have that.
Yeah, but it's dirt bikes. Like, what mini dad isn't slamming beers?
I mean, I agree with you.
I think they're more worried about mini dads doing CBD to go to bed than fucking drinking beers.
Oh, those drug addicts.
It's like fit tea.
It's got cannabis in the name. The devil's cabbage.
It's the devil's lettuce.
Terrible.
All right.
Yeah, you're right.
It's the devil's.
See, this is how I went in the house. I started doing math, and I fucked it up.
You got all fucked up. Well, what's next for you, Chris? What do you got coming up? Anything good?
I just got done with a good stretch of events. Like I was doing a bunch of work with Red Bull. Did straight rhythm. Then I did actually a Red Bull soapbox derby, which is hilarious. And before that was Red Bull flute talk. Just like pretty crazy out there brand building events that are just hilarious and fun to be a part of. Before that was X Games and did a bunch of riding in Jersey. But coming up, it's kind of slow right now. So I try to just do more personal projects where it's like go meet up with Jimmy Hill or Tom P and just go out there and invest my own time and money into being creative with whatever concept we kind of feel like doing. So it's kind of like a balance of taking your downtime and still being productive and constructive with it. And then, obviously being available when that paying client comes around and needs you to do something. But I know in December we have some more stuff coming up with some off-road things related to Glamis. But for now, just trying to get back on this thing. I actually got taken out at the Fox Raceway vet track by some older guy. I don't know what happened. He just got I don't know if he got whiskey or what, but he just full on slammed into my back tire with his front wheel, and we locked bikes and went down and crashed and twisted my ankle and busted up my shoulder pretty good. He knocked himself out, but just got back on the bike actually yesterday. So trying to get back in the groove of riding again and hopefully be able to throw my Alpinestars media vest on and go and do some more shooting with the guys out in whatever location we see fit for it. It's the fun part of what we get to do is go and do those creative free ride, conceptual projects that are just kind of something that we put together and hopefully the people like it and enjoy it.
So you basically, with rain coming to California over the winter, you're kind of gearing up for that. Are you going to shoot MEC or no?
I wasn't planning on it. I actually haven't shot Monster Cup since the first year when Villapoto won it. But I'll definitely be watching it, or maybe even go out to Vegas and hang out with Jimmy Hill. He's actually in Cirque du Soleil right now, so I think I'll go hang out with him.
Oh, yeah?
Watch it as a fan. It's fun.
Oh,
it's always nice getting to go to what's that?
He's in that dirt bike, bicycle, Cirque du Soleil show?
Yeah, he got a call for that recently, so I know he's living out in Vegas, so he's not too far to go. Maybe go out there and link up with old Hillsack. It's been a while. We always do some creative stuff. Actually, the last project we did, we used one of the lead-in shows to promote this podcast here, the cube that we did. That was kind of a fun concept. We were like, hey, Jimmy, let's make some abstract shapes. You think you could build something out of whatever you have at your house? And he's like, yes, I got this. And I'm like, all right, cool. And it's packed through everything I had lighting-wise, everything in my studio, packed up my truck and drove 4 hours up to where he lives. And I get up there and him and his brother made this massive 10 by 10 cube out of a conduit. And the thing was massive, and he was able to ride through it. And we aligned it with LED lighting and set up some strobes, and had him also ride in the middle of the night and do those cool conceptual shots, which is tough because it's hard to actually find an athlete that wants to ride in those conditions to make an image like that. A lot of people don't see the point or the purpose or want to take the risk. And I'm very fortunate to align myself with the people that do want to do that, because that's the kind of stuff I want to do. Don't get me wrong, going to races and shooting that stuff is cool, but you're extremely limited with what you can do. And, the artistic mind of mine wants to do more than that. So whenever I can, get it done.
When do you come back out to Jersey?
Maybe I'll come back in November. I don't know if I'm really supposed to talk about this, but I got into a contest that may or not be taking place in Italy in November, so I'm supposed to be maybe going there if all works out right. So maybe after that I'll stop back over, since New York and New Jersey's a little bit closer than California. So kind of still working out the details on that travel, but it should be pretty cool. Keep an eye out for that, because that other photo that Tom P and I did made it into the semifinals of Red Bull Loom. So we could make the final 55 and maybe win something cool with that. So
well, there you go. Get it. If you do, we're gonna put it out to our 6 listeners, at least 2 of which
left. We've been talking.
What's 8
hours now?
At least 2 of which you brought to the table.
Danny
got 6.
Kerry Hart's first backflip attempt. that was one of my first captures too. I remember I was 16 also. Mom let me go to, actually, she drove me to Unadilla, shot the National, and then from there drove to Providence, Rhode Island, and then shot Gravity Games, which is coincidentally the year Carey Hart did the backflip. I remember hearing the buzz around the contest scene before. It was like, Hart's going to go for a backflip. And like, no one had ever done or seen a backflip at that point, other than that like EXO movie where some guy did it on the CR-80. It was like, someone's going to do like a legit backflip on a full-size bike in a contest. So like, we made sure we were ready for that. And we were lined up on the side of the hill, and Carey sure as shit arced the backflip. You know, the landing is still debatable, but he went for it, hit the ground, and bounced off. But I had this photo at the time running Moto X Central, and I'm like, oh my god, this happened. So I ran like back to the media center, loaded it, put it online, sent it out there. I actually called Steve Root, the factory spectator. He was at the National. I'm like, Carey Hart landed the backflip. So obviously before social media and all that kind of stuff, so you had to put in a little bit more effort to communicate it to people. So I'm like, check it out, it's on my website. And that thing just went like, I guess will be the meaning of viral back then, like took off like wildfire. So,
do you have the sequence one?
Moment. And I always remember the after parties too.
Were you the sequence one?
I remember two rival sports at the time. There was a Gravity Games held an after party, and they thought, you know, why not invite all the athletes? But not all the athletes got along back then. So I just remember, you know, being a 16-year-old wandering around Providence, checking out the scene, like just seeing a row of people coming down this escalator, and like people are throwing punches, like people are bailing off the side of this escalator. It was wild, but it was two rival two-wheel sports going at it with some of like the legend OGs. It was pretty. So I'll never forget that. It's pretty crazy. Things are.
You were in the deep of it from the beginning.
Yeah, I was. I don't know what my mom was thinking, but thank you.
Telling you, she was trying to lose you.
No, I was a pain. Yeah.
Like, I couldn't lose him at Gravity Games. I'm putting him on a plane to California.
Yeah, that was a fun time.
We're getting rid of him.
Yeah, this kid survived Gravity Games. What the fuck? Now I'll just ship him away.
After that, I got the photo of Carey Hart, and after that night, I was seeing like the big rival action sports brawl, hanging out all night. We leave the hotel with me and my buddy John Ogiano at the time. We walk out at like 6 or 7 in the morning of like, it was a Holiday Inn in Providence. And there's a tour bus sitting out front of the lobby. We're like, fuck, this has got to be someone important. Like, we're 16-year-olds. Like, who the heck comes up in a tour bus? And sure as shit, it was Strung Out. And then we're like, holy crap, that's Strung Out. We love Strung Out. Because who the heck doesn't love Strung Out? They rip. And we knock on the door of the bus, and Jordan Burns comes out. I'm like, holy crap, Jordan. Like, we don't know who we are, but we know who you are. Like, you are Moto Triple X. And the photo of Carey Hart doing the backflip. This is before, like, people had digital photos at their disposal to show people. And he's like, what? Are you serious? We're like, yeah, I got it on my laptop. He's like, come on the bus. I'm like, what? So 16 years old, we got Strung Out's bus.
Shit, that's fucking cool.
Dude, you guys are awesome. You're coming to our show later. So they put us on their list, and like we were hanging out on this tour bus with Strung Out before the show, and like brought us out on the stage and like shooting photos of Strung Out. It was pretty wild stuff.
Holy shit, that's cool.
Yeah, to be like a teen and just like hanging out with your idols and documenting it at the time when it wasn't like the cool or cliche thing to do. Because like kind of if you were into photography and doing websites, you were kind of viewed as like a bit of a nerd back then because you really had to understand computers and camera settings and things like that. And that wasn't cool for like the mainstream hardcore. So to like kind of pave that path and set that trend and have it actually be a success and get to experience those things was wild. I'll never forget like being up there with Strung Out and still seeing that and running Moto Triple X. It's really, really awesome to see all these things still thriving and alive and relevant in today's times, so many years removed from it.
That's badass. That's a crazy story.
Yeah, I got to photograph my first pair of boobs at that event. You know, I was 16. Whoa, this is rad. I need to be a concert photographer. All I see is freaking dudes changing into their riding gear doing freestyle. Shooting concerts is way cooler.
That is fucking cool.
Yeah, that was a fun one. I don't know how to top that story.
Do you think that...
There's no way to.
Would you call Carey Hart's flip an attempt? I think that the fact that nobody had ever done it before, nobody thought that it was possible, and the fact that he came around to his wheels. I mean, the setup was not conducive for going 40 feet high and landing and riding out. So in my head, that's completed. Like, the fact that the landing was so harsh that he got blown off, he still did a backflip.
Yeah, it wasn't like he went for it and like failed and threw the bike away or like completely looped out and wasn't even close. Like, he touched down, like you said, both wheels. He was on the bike, and then it got ripped away from him.
And then it was
at that
just
time,
nobody knew. Yeah, the dude went fucking 45 feet straight up and straight down and got blown off his motorcycle. Yeah. That's a physics and strength problem. Not like he did the flip. He totally flipped over. He proved. Here's the thing.
He went more than the flip, dude.
He was only like a teeny bit over though. He wasn't that much over. That's not,
yeah, but with that amount of spin and that distance, yeah.
I don't even think the spin was it. I think even if he had come in, maybe if he come perfectly in nose down,
he would have smashed.
But I think that he went so high, if he was nose down, it may have been worse. Like, he may have broke his wrists or something. So I think that at that, huh?
Sorry, go on.
What'd you say?
I was saying, yeah, because he touched back wheel first and slapped, and then yanked the bike away from him. So
yeah,
I don't know. All wheels touched with him on it. So you want to be technical. You want to like call him out like Cameron Steele always would do. Oh, he didn't land it, but like he still touched down and broke away. It was still like super inspiring.
Yeah,
100. 2 years after that, someone actually landed successfully in contest.
Exactly, from a ramp where the physics is different and you're traveling forward. Backflips are way more controllable and smoother at a distance. Even super kickers suck because you just go straight up and straight back down versus flipping 75 feet is way better and way more controllable, and you come in way smoother. So I think that he did, in my mind, he did the flip. He proved it's possible. You can do backflips. 100% he made it happen.
Absolutely. And he reaped all the rewards for it despite his messed up back. That guy's a legend. And he went back the following year in Best Trick and tried it and wadded himself up again.
Bad.
Yeah, and then he never made one without being hurt.
I think he landed it in 2002. Didn't he do it in Best?
Yeah, but he broke his ankle. He
still like over-rotated and like went off a bit.
He cased a little bit and then went down to the bottom and put his foot out and stomped the fire and broke his ankle.
Mm-hmm.
On that white Honda with the Hurley.
Yes, that was a sweet bike too.
Yeah.
Good looking bike.
All right, dude. First off, Danny D. Wayne retracted a statement, but it was a good joke. He said, "I'm in a interracial relationship. My girlfriend likes black guys." Which, listen, that's 100% a joke I would tell on stage. I would totally tell that.
Why can't someone laugh at that? That's funny.
I don't know. That is funny. I don't know why you would have taken that away. Yeah, exactly.
Double D.
Listen, I got a joke where I ask people if I'm like, I'm torn about weed being legalized because one, it's stopped me from having tickets because if I have it in the car, I drive the speed limit. But on the other hand, if it was legal, I could drive with more. Right now, I only have an ounce and a small bong, strictly what I could fit in my butt. So there you go.
I don't. Joke fine line of indecent or offensive. Is it even really funny? I mean, that's kind of the whole point of comedy, isn't it? Like,
exactly.
To poke fun, all the things that everyone is so uptight about. That's the whole point of comedy.
100%.
Yeah.
That's after Chappelle was saying everybody was freaking out. I'm like, listen, this is the whole deal, is to tackle subjects that are taboo to everybody and twist it, even if it's fucked up. You're just twisting it from another angle and being like, okay, like there is another side to this at least. So I think everybody needs to be open-minded and think that Carey Hart landed the first flip.
I'm down with this.
It's okay to be offensive. You know, life's too short anyway. We're not making it out alive anyway. It's okay to tell some jokes that maybe are a little confrontational.
Don't worry, I like it. I'm just trying to tame it down enough on the moto side so that it's palatable for everyone.
You got some good like mini dad jokes and just like the guy who thinks he's the shit and shows up with like his full set of gear and perfect bike, but he just sucks on the track, you know. Because there's a lot of humor in moto too, especially on the East Coast. Let me tell you.
That's the thing. I need enough time, enough opportunities to explore it out. You know what I mean, so that I can go further down that road. But yeah, there's definitely.
You need to start hanging out at U-Town again a little bit more. Get a little bit more involved with the culture there.
I know it. You're probably not wrong. I probably should have gone to K-Rock, but I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that.
Speaking of K-Rock, there's a lot of racers in that. That was like over 700 entries.
Yeah, it's kind of coming back. There's just the local moto scene. There's way more people. When I first moved back here, I went to a practice or something or a race, and there was like nobody there. And it seems in the last couple of years, it seems to be building back up. So that's good.
Yeah, it's cool to see all the people involved on the East Coast that are into moto. Like, you have people with their standard SUV with a Joe Hauler single bike in the back, like full, like, wow, that guy probably owns an excavating company rig, you know? Like,
yeah.
But there's no short people that are still involved in it. It's just that the areas don't really embrace it. Like out in California, like two wheels is the culture here. Like it's part of it. You're not like a criminal for riding your motorcycle. You know, you're like. It's physically demanding. It's super expensive. And all the upkeep and everything that comes along with it, there's a lot of like good life lessons to be learned from it. For some reason, the East Coast wants to like just label you as a trespassing, degenerate criminal. You know, like there's so many amazing trails in New Jersey that go through open landscape that no one's touching, that no one wants anything to do with. But for some reason, it's just like a great revenue source to like just ruin people's day, to just buzz people for riding out there. I just don't get it. Just embrace it.
Yeah.
Charge a fee for it. Charge registration. Like California, you pay a registration fee on your dirt bike, just like your car, and it allows you to ride all these different places. New Jersey loves money. Tax it. People will pay it. People will ride. Make it more accessible.
I'm torn on that statement right there. Right, Nick? Fuck the government and taxes.
Yeah, I just want to ride wherever the fuck I want.
Yeah, you at risk of like getting criminal trespassing your bike.
Yeah, no, I'm punk rock. I'm not paying for shit.
You get
put me in jail.
So for what? Like, I'll pay registration on that thing is like $50 for the year in California. You get to ride on it.
I'd rather pay
all these amazing things, right?
I'd rather pay a $200 ticket, Chris, than adhere to the man's laws. Pay him $50 for.
It's not.
I'm in between you two.
$200 would be cheap in Jersey. It's not.
There's no untaken land around here. It's either someone's yard or it's a cornfield. So there's no like, we go ride in the cornfields, but you get yelled at, chased out of them. But there's no like, there's hills or quarries or fucking. I guess in the hood there's some dunes south of here, but you get shot when you ride there. That's a different deal.
That's what's cool about the West Coast. It's like, you want to go ride on that hill, and that's OHV area, go for it. Go have fun. You're allowed to. We're not even going to harass you for it. I mean, obviously, idiots that do dumb things that you do get harassed for, but it's just, complete culture shock difference between the two sides of the country from what dirt biking is. It's not a crime. It's awesome.
Yeah, I think that here is people.
I'm in the middle of the country.
Well, yeah, so you're in between. But here is people that got here and was like, this is a good place. We got stuff to do. I'm going to set up and work. And then people in California are the descendants of people who were like, fuck, I don't know what's over there, man, but I think we should test it out. We should at least try.
Cold.
Well, Joe Rogan had a pretty funny stand-up about that. It was like all the people came over on the East Coast, like, we're staying here. Then like some got stuck in the middle of the country. That's why we have Texas and all that stuff. But the smart ones made it all the way to California, away from all that stuff.
Yeah.
There's something along those lines. He was in his last stand-up about that. Just like, going for a completely different culture out here. It's more they embrace creativity, I feel. And that's why I'm out here. If there was like a means for me to actually have a job being a motocross, action sports, creative creator out there, I would do it. But it just unfortunately doesn't exist at this point.
Yeah.
Like you said, man, it's annoying.
You're in the industry. You're in the heart of it.
For sure.
Yeah,
I thought that I was gonna get set up out here and when freestyle got big over here, I would already be established, and then freestyle just never got big over here, and that was the end of it.
I think FMX needs to team up with Wilson Bus Lines and just take over.
We would at least be fucking comfortable.
Sick Mick, that guy can build anything.
Dude, I seen Mick pull a calf out of a mom cow like 10 minutes after I woke up. We woke up in Brody's apartment, walked outside, and I hear rah, rah, and Mickey comes running out of the front of his house and just sprints down into this pasture and gets down on the ground and puts his feet on the cow's ass and grabs a hold of the hooves and just yanks this fucking calf out. And I'm like, seriously, I've been awake for 10 minutes. This is a bit extreme for me first thing in the morning here. Fuck.
I'm a big fan of Templeton, Massachusetts, and the Wilson compound. Great people there.
Dude, and his little protege there, Seth, is a monster too.
Mm-hmm. He slays the whips.
Everything, big super, super flips and fucking. He's got most of it down. As soon as I saw him, I was like, "Who the fuck's this guy?" And then I saw his style, and he goes, "Oh, he rides with Brody."
Mm-hmm.
That lucky bastard.
Comes from that BMX background too, so he's super flowy.
Yeah, it's a good.